these ones? Come on this way.
Yeah, I think so.
looking live at Q Stadium here in Nanaimo, where today the Kamloops Broncos take on the VI Raiders. Hello, everybody. I'm Noah Atnikov, joined as always by Cole McGarvey. And I must tell you, folks, I contemplated retirement after the game against West Shore last week. It's quite sad when you come to the realization that it probably will never get better for us as broadcasters than that, Cole. A game-winning touchdown on the last play of the football game. It electrified us at the time. You've had a couple weeks to digest it. Now that we're a little more even keel, Cole, talk about that unbelievable game-winning play for the Raiders a couple weeks ago and what it did for this football team.
Yeah, I still can't believe how that game finished, Noah. It was, it's made its rounds in the CGFL atmosphere. Of course, it made it onto the CFL's Straight Fire edition on, I believe that was last Saturday. But hopefully for us, that this kind of catapults this team moving forward. They're able to kind of use that as a launching point moving forward, and they can kind of stack some wins here in the meeting part of the season.
Barring the unthinkable, this game should be over by the third quarter, but how do the Raiders not look ahead to next week's game against Langley and keep the main focus as taking care of business right now against the Broncos?
Well, I don't think they've played – they haven't played a full 60-minute game quite yet, so I think they're kind of hoping they can use that opportunity here this Saturday and take their best football into next Saturday.
The head coach of the Broncos is Jay Daniels, and Jay was also the man in charge for the Raiders a few years ago, so there is history in this matchup. I know every team wants to win, but the Broncos have scored just 7 points through 3 weeks of football. It's clear they are rebuilding. If you were head coach Jay Daniels, what would you want to see in this game to come out of it somewhat happy? What would be a fair expectation, Cole?
I think if they're just able to play a clean football game for 60 minutes, take some things. I know they'll probably be starting a new starting quarterback here this week, so just trying to take the small things and try to go forward from here.
The Raiders' offense is still working towards finding their full groove this season. What should be the goal today against Kamloops? I would think anything less than 60 points is unsatisfactory. Would you agree, Cole?
Yeah, like I said, though, they haven't played a full game, especially the offense, right? I think it's probably a little bit debatable in terms of their defense. Their defense has showed up this season, but their offense, I feel like, wants to get clicking on all cylinders, especially when you look at a matchup with Darryl Overstreet and the Langley Rams next week. I'd really like to see this offense impress, and especially with a guy like Dylan Marino, not to look too far ahead, but try to impress so much that he's out by halftime. He's got the ball cap on the sideline, the spits, whatever he is on the sideline, and you feel like you had a good day.
This year, the Broncos have handed the keys to a freshman quarterback named Cole Rigler, who played his high school football in Kamloops. Now, he is not with the team today, so that is something to keep in mind. It was a difficult hand he was dealt with, not much talent around him in Kamloops. But in the backfield for the Raiders, Cole, a couple weeks ago, we were both surprised by how long it took to get Morgan Crisp into the game. What do you expect to see in the backfield today for the Raiders?
Yeah, I think if they're the Raiders, they're probably going to want to lean on 3, 4, maybe even 5 different backs. We'll see how many they're able to play. But for us, I think up here in the booth, Noah, is just riding that hot hand, especially early on. If they're able to build some momentum, I think that provides some juice throughout the lineup, especially when the substitutions and the depth guys start to come in. So for me, I'd really like to see Morgan Crisp come in here early on, pound the rock, get the chains moving. But we'll see how Coach Chris Ashman decides to divvy the play up amongst the running back room.
The Broncos will get the ball first in this football game. It's number 80, William Morris Hilling, to kick off for the Raiders and get things started here at the Q. This should be a fun football game, especially if you're a Raider fan. And we are all good to go. Morris Hilling leans into it and drives the ball down there all the way to the 10-yard line. It bounces around there. Kamloops picks it up at the 5. They're going to run it out to the 10 and taken down immediately. Good downfield coverage by the Raiders. Chris Cooper was in on that one, the Barsby graduate.
Yeah, Chris Cooper, Sebastian Lambert, he's starting to turn into the league special teams demon. Coming off a 4-tackle special teams performance last week versus the West Shore Rebels. He's in on that with like Chris Cooper, Parker Moskart running down there on teams. So good start. They're able to pin the Broncos deep into their own territory.
So here comes that Broncos offense, and I talked to Jay Daniels before the game today. I said, Rigler starting? And he said, nope, he's no longer with us. And so there is a new quarterback in there for the Broncos. It's number 10, J.R. Howdle, who is starting at quarterback today, obviously making his first CJFL start. And they're going to give it up the middle on first down, and that Raiders run defense is stout, and they swallow him up there for a gain of 2.
Look, that was rookie defensive tackle Logan Creering in on the tackle. Going to be interesting with the addition of LaRon Parker for the VI Raiders. You're seeing there on your screen wearing the number 6 in the middle of that Raiders defensive line. Should hopefully free up some guys to have some one-on-one matchups throughout the rest of the season.
Second down and 8 for the Broncos. Howdle in the shotgun with a sidecar to his right. 5 receivers out in the pattern. Snap to Howdle, looking to his right, throwing to his right, and it's almost intercepted by Ayer. He was right there, but the ball went right through his hands.
Yeah, tough one for Joe. That would have been for 6 as he would have walked in uncontested. The Raiders able to get a quick 2 and out here, and depending on the return, Chris Nagoni back to return this punt. They could be set up in pretty reasonable field position here early on.
Nagoni had a big game and a big return against the Prince George Kodiaks a few weeks ago, and he's counting the players out right now for the Raiders. He's back deep to return, and he will be the starting returner for the Raiders today. The Broncos punter waits at around his goal line for the snap, and he gets that snap. The Raiders are in there, and they almost block it again. So a repeat of last week. Nagoni picks it up on the run and takes it ahead inside the 40-yard line, and that is where the Raiders offense will go to work, so that'll bring out Dylan Marino. The Los Angeles, California native has looked good for the Raiders through 3 games. He is second in the conference in passing with 634 yards through the air, but I'm sure the thing he wants to improve on is that touchdown to interception ratio. He comes in today with 7 touchdowns and 5 interceptions. He'll have a good opportunity to do it today against a Broncos defense that is surrendering over 60 points a game. And here is Marino in the shotgun, and Morgan Crisp is in the backfield to start the game, different than last week. Moskrip leads the way for Crisp. Crisp right up the middle. Crisp into the secondary. Runs over a defender. Morgan Crisp still on his feet. There's a flag down, but Crisp is close to the first down.
Pretty crazy to think back 2 weeks ago now, know what the Raiders coming out to bye, but Crisp didn't touch the ball the entirety of the first quarter versus the Rebels, and you see why. This guy needs to be a focal point early on for the Raiders offense.
We wait for the call from the senior white hat official, and here it comes. We'll see if we have the microphones working today at the cue.
That's a negative, Noah.
That is a negative, Cole.
We had it for 1 week, though, buddy.
The starting lineups presented by Mr. Lube Plus Tires. The wide receiving core consists of Morgan McCubbin, Jacob Selso, Parker Moskrip, Matthew Haygarth, and Nate Cowie-Thompson. The offensive line is anchored by the leader on that group, the fifth-year center, Jake Giokis, as well as Dax Howery, Caden Exner, Ryan Danielson, and Carson Krangbrick, who's done a nice job filling in for the injured Ty Teal. And in the backfield, Morgan Crisp has emerged as the most productive back for the Raiders so far this year. And here is Dylan Marino in the shotgun formation as the referee blows it in here. We're all good to go. Snap to Dylan. He looks to his left, throws to his left, and it's over the head of Haygarth.
Yeah, see, those would be the little things that we're looking for today versus the Kamloops Broncos. Got to be crisp offensively. Got to look for those completions early on. 0 for 1 here, Dylan. But great starting field position. It'll be second down, the 15-yard line.
So they are inside the 20 at the 15 of the Broncos, and the Raiders look to get an early 6-0 lead. Marino shotgun takes the snap. He's going to give it to Morgan Crisp off the right side, and not many blocks going on there. Crisp able to carry defenders with him for a gain of about 2, but that'll bring up a 3rd down and 8 and a decision time for the VI Raiders.
Looks like the offense is going to stay out in the field. I like the decision by Coach Arabsky as you see he's waving his field goal unit back onto the sideline. I think it's critical to get a hot start here for the Raiders offense. They got to build some momentum here early on. And it'd be a nice way to get 6 points here.
At the bottom of your screen, Morgan McCubbin, Parker Moskrip, and Nate Cowie-Thompson playing that field wide out. Snap to Dylan. He looks to his left. He's in trouble. He's going deep. He's got Morgan McCubbin wide open. And McCubbin's got it! Touchdown! Raiders! We do have a flag down, but is this going to be a roughing the passer, or is this going to be a holding call? We'll wait and check on the call. And it is holding on the Raiders. A tough call there, a beautiful corner ball by Dylan Marino to Morgan McCubbin, but this one is coming back.
Those are the little things I'm talking about, right? Beautiful ball by Dylan. Morgan does a great job keeping his feet in towards the back of the end zone. He's going to come back due to penalty, and this isn't gimme range for Maris Hilling here. So one where the Raiders have continued to shoot themselves in the foot offensively all year long.
So Maris Hilling will line this up from 26 yards away. Excuse me. No, this is going to be a 31-yarder, so this would be his longest of the season. He was the special teams player of the week a couple weeks ago against PG, but those were of the 15 to 20-yard variety. This would be his longest. Maris Hilling leans into it. The ball is put down by Vindevogel, and Maris Hilling's kick is good. A nice kick there by William Morris Hilling right down the middle, and the Raiders have a 3-0 lead over the Kamloops Broncos.
And perhaps a little bit of urgency from Maris Hilling when the new addition comes into town and puts a little bit of pressure on you. So I like that from Maris Hilling. He's able to put the ball through the uprights, give the Raiders an early on 3-0 lead. But again, as I said, if you're Dylan, I think your goals for today, if you will, are to try to have a crisp game. You throw some touchdowns and try to get out of here as quickly as you can.
Disappointing holding penalty there that wipes the touchdown off the board for the Raiders.
And of course, that's not on Dylan as well, right? But it comes down to, it's team football, right? It comes down to everybody doing their 1/12th. And I think it's just the execution that we want to see this week, right? Versus a inferior opponent. This is where you have to execute offensively this week.
A well-thrown corner ball by Marino. All you can do is your job. He did his there. The offensive line is going to have to protect him without taking holding calls. Shotgun snap, and they're going to run it to the right. And the Raiders swarm him, and they're in there, and they gang tackle him for a loss. It's a loss of 3, bring up a 2nd and 13 for the Kamloops Broncos. Defensively for the Raiders, the line is led by one of the best in the country, Tanai Wisdom, as well as the true freshman 17-year-old Logan Quiring. Connor Baker and the newcomer, the American LaRon Parker, who was Dylan Marino's buddy back in California. The linebacking core is the strength of this team with Shipham, Sterling Henry, and Colton Finstad, who's off to a red-hot start to the season. And in the secondary, it's Bytel, Thiessen, Jackson Ashman, Joe Ayer, and Dylan Winters filling in for Spencer Rempel this week. Here is a shotgun formation on 2nd down. They throw it to the back, and Ayer's in there, and maybe the running back heard footsteps coming. It was dropped there by number 6, Makeen Al-Nahir.
My goodness, Joe's going to have a few opportunities of J.R. Howdle keeps throwing those quick out routes.
And so Nagoni back to return this one again. And I'm excited to see what he can do with this one. The Broncos punter calls for the snap. The Raiders are in there again, but he gets it away and angles it towards the sideline. And this one will go out of bounds. It's caught there by an offensive lineman.
It was dropped. Caden almost, we could almost give him a little bit of credit, but clearly showing that he is still an offensive lineman. That's okay, Caden.
Caden Exter, probably not going to be returning punts for the Raiders anytime soon.
Unless it's in those practice drills and you got conditioning on the line or something like that. But yeah, I agree with you. I don't know how many punts he's going to be catching.
So here comes the Raiders offense, and yeah, you're definitely looking for a big performance today from Dylan Marino and the Raiders offense. They're late running an offensive lineman out on the field. That is number 75, Ryan Danielson. So Danielson maybe with his head in the clouds early in this game, but he gets out there late, and Marino's in the shotgun on 1st down from his own 54-yard line, and the snap goes over his head. Marino picks it up, stays composed, fires down the right side, and it's overthrown, intended for Nate Cowie-Thompson. 2nd down and long for the Raiders coming up. Raiders offense not looking quite as crisp as you'd like them to early in this game, Cole.
And no excuses, but obviously coming off the bye week, maybe a little bit leading into that. But as I said from the jump, this is one where the Raiders have to come out and come out firing.
No doubt about it. Marino stands 5 yards deep in the shotgun with Chris beside him. Celso is the slot at the bottom. They snap it to Dylan. He looks. He fires down the middle for Celso. Celso's got it. Makes a man miss. Celso, the race is on. Can they catch him? Celso taken down from behind inside the 5-yard line. What a catch and run by Jacob Celso. He is electric, Cole.
Great ball by Marino to Celso. Right down the seam. Jacob Celso stepping into that boundary slot role here today with Parker Moscrip sidelined due to injury. I think it's a much better fit for Selly as he's into that slot now position, not playing out wide in the field. And just get that kid the ball, and he's able to make plays just like that.
Raiders from the 4-yard line. Dylan Marino shotgun, Morgan Crisp behind him. They give it to Crisp off the right side, and Crisp breaks tackles and gets down close to the goal line. He's down at the about the 2-yard line, and that'll bring up a 2nd down and goal for the Raiders.
Yeah.
Stick with the run here, Cole, or put it in Marino's hands?
I don't mind sticking with the run here. I think we like what we've seen from Morgan Chris running downhill able to fall forward for, usually 1 or 2 yards. So looks like they're on the 2-yard line. If you're able to get a few blocks and then fall forward, I like the odds of Chris getting in the end zone here.
Receivers are slow running out there. It usually tells me a run is coming. They're not quite as excited to get the ball. Here's Dylan Marino shotgun. Snap is high, but he's able to fake it. And Marino's going to run around the left side, and he is in. Touchdown, Raiders! Dylan Marino takes it in. And the snaps pull an early problem for the Raiders. They've been high a couple times now.
Yeah, very uncharacteristic of Jake Gioka's veteran center for the Raiders. Haven't seen that at all throughout his career. So one that they're going to have to get on the same page here. Just a couple high ones. So great job there by Dylan being able to corral that one. And I don't know if it was a true read option there. I think Dylan maybe just kind of felt a little bit uncomfortable with the high snap, decided to take it in himself. So I like that Dylan's kind of reacting off instinct, right? He's not thinking about it. He's not second guessing in the backfield. He just took the ball and found the end zone.
And here is the new kicker wearing number 69. It's Cohen Petrina to put this one through. Vindevogel puts it down, and Petrina makes no mistake. And the Raiders have grabbed a 10-0 lead over the Kamloops Broncos with 8:45 to go in the first quarter.
I'll be curious to watch that Petrina William Maris Hilling competition that's clearly going on here, Noah. I'd be curious to know if we maybe ask Coach Rabsky following the game if they're going series by series or what's going to go into that competition with Petrina getting the extra point attempt and Maris Hilling getting the field goal attempt.
You see there on your screen the beautiful seam shot to Jacob Celso. What a player he is for the Raiders.
What a player he is. If we can take a little jab at Selly for now, we got to unhitch the trailer and we got to get in the box there. We got to find a way to score there, Selly.
Caught from behind by the DB for the Kamloops Broncos. I'm sure his teammates are going to give him a little bit of garbage about that in the locker room on Tuesday at practice.
Especially after they watch film, maybe tonight or tomorrow, whenever it is, and that'll be one. Hopefully, Selly's able to build on this early success.
And the kickoff by Maris Hilling will bounce it around the 7-yard line, and it's picked up there by the Broncos. They're running it back, and he makes a miss, but he's tackled inside the 15-yard line, and that is where the Broncos offense will go to work.
Looked like Parker Moskrip, and didn't see the other number who was down there on teams, but great job by the Raiders once again pinning the Broncos inside their 20. One to monitor as well. Know with that special teams battle, Maris Hilling handling kickoff duties in the past few weeks. We have seen Sterling Henry handle those duties. So the more you can do, especially come playoff time when jerseys start to get limited on game day, I think that adds to whoever's going to get dressed likely.
Maybe Maris Hilling with a little more distance on the kickoffs than his counterpart Petrina. Accurate, again, power for Maris Hilling hasn't been a problem. He's got it there from 30, 35, but it's the accuracy that's been an issue for him early in the year.
Probably going to be a one for Sean to decide throughout the rest of the season how much you want to kind of battle, the accuracy of Petrina. We haven't seen much from Petrina yet, but maybe, as you said, the accuracy from Petrina and the leg strength from Maris Hilling.
Broncos from their own 15-yard line. Shotgun snap, looking deep, got him open. Ayer gets burned. And the ball is overthrown, but Ayer, interestingly enough there, he got toasted.
He did. Luckily for the VI Raiders defense.
Number 6 of the D-line there with the red armor case. Come to us this week. Comes from the same school as Bill Marino down there. American player looking to shore up that middle.
Good ball there from J.R. Howdle. Just a little too far for the receiver to get to. I'm sure not a lot of speed there in the receiving corps for the Kamloops Broncos. Shotgun snap. Howdle looks to his right, throws to his right. It's complete, and he's taken down immediately by Shipham and Ayer.
And it's going to bring on the Kamloops Broncos punt unit once again. No surprise, the Raiders defense doing their job early on. And once again, if depending on this punt, they're going to take over possession with good field position and need to strike.
Nagoni back deep to return again. He didn't have an opportunity on the last kick as it went out of bounds. We'll see if they kick it to him here. He stands back at around his own 52-yard line and awaits the punt from the Kamloops Broncos. The kick is away, angled towards the sideline again, and Nagoni again with no opportunity to return the punt. Pretty good kick there from the Kamloops Broncos punter. Be interesting to see how long Dylan Marino stays in this game, Cole. Obviously, the quarterback for the Langley Rams stayed in there for most of the game and threw 10 touchdowns. I think the Raiders plan to get Dylan out of there a lot earlier than that.
Yeah, Overstreet played 3 quarters last week versus the Broncos. Like I said, ideally, you see Dylan until halftime, and the second half you can unstrap the pads and put in a ball cap, but they got to handle their business first here. It's only 10-0.
Marino, shotgun, takes a snap. He's going to give it to Whittingham off the left side. Whittingham is into the secondary and taken down close to the first down marker. It looks like he's got it. First down Raiders.
Whittingham's slow to get up. I was just going to say that's just what the doctor ordered if you're Gavin. He's been looking to find some success. I think when you're in that battle with a Crisp and the other talented backs that are in that room, if you're able to stay hot, they're not going to take you off the field.
Raiders from the 36-yard line. Marino with a gun with Whittingham behind him. Snap to Dylan. They're going to throw a screen out here to McCubbin. McCubbin's got to make a man miss. He does. McCubbin heads towards the sideline. Good-looking stiff arm. And McCubbin is close to the first down again.
Marino to McCubbin there. A couple stiff arms. Gain of about 5. Bring up second down.
2nd and 4 coming up for the Raiders. Got some good music in this stadium today, Cole.
We do. Shout out DJ Marky Mark.
Get your booty on the floor now. Here we go. Marino takes a snap, looks to his right, throws for Haygarth. Haygarth makes the catch and pulled out of bounds there, close to the first down. We'll see just how close he is. One official has it lined up as a first down. He's got the first down. The Raiders at the 25-yard line. Nate Cowie-Thompson, bottom of the screen. Celso comes in motion. They throw it to Celso. Celso makes a man miss, breaks a tackle. Celso cuts inside, and he's close to the first down. Another good play from Jacob Celso, and he is making an impact here early and often.
Makes it there, and looks like maybe another Raider first down.
Looks like it is going to be short, though, Noah.
2nd and inches is usually a good chance to take a shot, as you can always QB sneak it on 3rd down anyway. We'll see what the Raiders want to do here. Haygarth and Celso at the top of the screen. Cowie-Thompson at the bottom. And they'll give it inside to Whittingham, and Whittingham's got the first down for the Raiders as they move closer towards that goal line and threaten to score again early in this game.
First down, Raiders.
Raiders at the 7-yard line.
Outside the 10,
Oh,
Noah.
no, yeah, there we go. At the 11. Shotgun snap to Dylan. He'll run it to the left with Whittingham. Whittingham looking for that goal line. And he is in! Touchdown! Raiders! Gavin Whittingham scores for the Raiders, and they have taken a 16-0 lead over the Kamloops Broncos. Good to see Whittingham get in the end zone there. He's had a tough start to the season, Cole.
It is, like I said, it's for a guy that's trying to look for some success early on. If you're going to run the ball like that, they're not going to be able to take you off the field, right? You have some of those short gains that we've seen from Whittingham throughout the season, and it's easier to say, hey, we have a guy like Crisp who's performing. Let's put him in. So I think if you're Gavin, you just continue to have success on the field, and they're going to continue to give him some carries.
It is an interesting battle in the backfield between Crisp and Whittingham. Whittingham came in the offseason with a lot more hype than Crisp had, but Crisp has been the more productive back so far this season. I talked to Jack Braybrook, a coach for the Raiders, last week, and he told me we really wanted to give Gavin a chance to get into the game and get the feel for the game. He said he likes to be the bell cow early in the game and get that feel for the game, but it didn't work out so well for the Raiders, and you see Crisp starting the game today for the Raiders. So that is something to monitor, just how they manage the touches in the backfield. And so the Raiders have a 17-0 lead over the Broncos.
I think my counterpoint to Jack would be that, well, what about Crisp getting into the game? I think he's performed well enough to lean on that guy as your starting running back. So as much as I hear you, as a running back, you need 5-10 carries before you really feel your way into the game. I just think that, to me, they need to continue to lean on Crisp.
Is this Morris Hilling the kickoff, Cole, or is this the other fella? Oh, this interesting. This will be Petrina to kick off. And the return from the Broncos down the left side. And taken down there by number 30. That's David Pama, who made the tackle.
I think we're picking.
Another nice kick there by the unknown kicker, number 69. So that's throw his name.
Broncos will scrimmage from around their own 25-yard line. But did we have a penalty on that one? It looks like we did. And this might back the Broncos up. So the start you wanted for the Raiders, Cole, they are up 17-0 over the Broncos.
I think other than the penalty, it's been a fairly good start here for the Raiders, especially defensively. They've caused 3-4 punts now. So,
yep, pretty clean start. 3 drives, 3 scores. Just disappointing that the nicest one, that Morgan McCubbin corner out, was taken off the board.
Yeah. There is a silver lining, though. Maris Hilling banging home a 35-yard field goal is, I think, a nice one.
Howdle to his left, and it's almost intercepted by Caleb Thiessen over the head of everybody out there. And it'll bring up a 2nd down and long.
Once again, the Raiders should take over here with good field position if they're able to get a stop, pinning the Broncos back into their own end.
Second and long for Howdle and the Broncos offense. Sidecar to his right. 3 receivers to the bottom of the screen. They snap it to Howdle. They roll him to the right. He throws short, and it is dropped by Ethan Saggers. A little behind him there on the outcut, and the Broncos will have to punt again. Cole, we talked about it. It was going to be a little difficult for us to get excited for this game. We consider ourselves true professionals, but with how competitive that game was last week against West Shore, it's just a little different this week against the Kamloops Broncos.
I also think we are a little bit prisoners at the moment. If we rewind and think about the first 57 minutes, it maybe wasn't the greatest games, but my goodness, no. I think they'll make movies about how that game finished with, the back and forth lead changes and how it finished up.
They definitely will. The Broncos taking it in the end zone, they will give up the 2 points for the field position exchange. But yeah, no doubt about it, Cole. For the first 57 minutes of that game, it was a little bit of a snooze fest. It was a defensive battle and not much going on offensively.
Probably to be expected, right, with both teams. West Shore coming in with a top-tier defense. The Raiders, same thing.
As football goes, though, I always say the game is as good as the finish is.
Yep, you got that right.
Cole, I have a hot take for you about your BC Lions. Are you ready for this one?
Let's hear it.
I think the Lions are going to finish 2nd in the West.
Do you? Okay. I don't necessarily hate it. I don't know if I have that belief quite yet.
Cole, I've seen all I need to see from my Winnipeg Blue Bombers.
Yeah, well,
they
that's one thing, buddy.
The Calgary Stampeders are probably just as bad. I thought this. We both like the Stampeders, but
yes.
With VA down now, we don't know when he's going to be back. The defense is a problem for Calgary.
Half your team should probably be in a senior citizen home.
There's no doubt about it. Stanley Bryant is 40 years old out there playing left tackle.
Zach Claros at least back in the lineup. A little better than Drew Brown, I think, right?
I'll take Claros for sure. Here's Dylan Marino in the shotgun. High snap for the third time today, and he gives it to Gavin Whittinghammer out the right side. Whittingham breaks a tackle. Whittingham's into the secondary. He's still going inside the 40 and chased out of bounds there. But, yeah, I got to tell you, Cole, I think the Lions are about to get hot here. I think they got all the bad mojo out of their system early in the year. All the injuries are out of their system. They're healthier than they've been all year long. Nathan Rourke is back. And, man, did you see that rollout throw he had in the game this week? That was one of the best throws I've seen all season.
Yeah, no, I'll remind you, if you didn't already, go back, rewatch that. When he let the ball go, too, Jermaine Jackson probably hadn't even separated from his defender yet. So a lot of trust and just placing that ball only where his receiver could get it. So I like your hot take, and we'll see what the Lions are able to do here now post-Labor Day after, I believe they got Saskatchewan and Montreal coming up back-to-back.
Marino looking to his right. He's got McCubbin inside the 20. McCubbin looking for the end zone. Can he get there? No. Taken down at the 1 yard line. And that's one that Morgan McCubbin's going to have nightmares about.
Yeah, I don't know who will be teased more in film on Monday, Selly or McCubbin there. I don't know if Selly got quite to the 1 yard line, but poor Morgan getting pulled down at the 1 after his touchdown gets pulled off the board due to penalty.
Those seams are there early and often for the Raiders' goal.
Yeah, and I don't hate the game plan as well to get Gavin and the run game going here, but I also wouldn't mind kind of seeing the pass game get crisp here and try to score some touchdowns and then get Marino out of this game.
It may as well be 7-on-7 flag football against the Kamloops Broncos. Shotgun snap to Marino. It's high again, and Whittingham just walks into the end zone. And I have a decision to make, Cole. Am I going to give my signature touchdown Raiders, or am I going to save my voice for next week against the Langley Rams?
And maybe not next week, second half. Some of the depth guys get in, a Brady Vindevogel, Antonio Haglet. Maybe we'll see those guys slinging around. And like we said about some of those depth guys, a Trey P. and Hagarth, we're hoping that they're able to perform in their options, right? Especially with a long season, you never know what's going to happen with injuries. We're seeing it here today. No McCarty, no Cooper in the receiving core, so some of those younger guys are going to get some of their chances, and hopefully they're able to perform.
I think I'll get a little more excited when we get the backups in the game, because it'll be a little more evenly matched game than what it is right now. Here is the new kicker, Petrina, and he puts it through, and the Broncos are now down 26-0. So giving up the 2 points for the field position, it didn't really matter much. The Raiders just drive it right down the field for another touchdown.
Yeah, this is perfect. Exactly what the doctor ordered for the VI Raiders coming out of the bye week. Up 26-0 before the first quarter is even over. Honestly, if Dylan's able to muster together another touchdown drive and he's able to put it together through the air, I wouldn't hate it if he comes out of the game this early.
Always a tough balance between padding your stats and being up near the top of the conference, but also you want to keep your starters healthy. You know, the last thing this team needs is Dylan Marino to go down with an injury, a freak injury, right?
They got bigger fish to fry as well. I think they're kind of not to look too far ahead, and I don't think Coach Rabsky would tell you that either, but massive matchup with the Langley Rams next week with Taylor Overstreet just absolutely playing at an all-world level right now. So
you gave the comparison to me, Cole. Cam Newton and JUCO is kind of what it reminded you of.
Similar. I didn't hate your response in Cam Newton at Auburn because he's playing at such a high level right now with just how he's throwing it, how he's running it, and how he's operating the offense.
Here's the return, and he falls down. And the Broncos, par for the course, they will scrimmage inside the 20-yard line, and they have been backed up way deep there all game today.
Let's just try to muster a first down here.
I feel like we're going to find ourselves cheering for the Broncos a little bit to get something going here.
Yeah,
it's just hard to watch.
I mean, Howdle, young quarterback, first start for the Broncos, right? As you mentioned, Cole Rigler moving on from the program. So let's see as the course of the game goes on, maybe Howdle starts to settle in a little bit more and he's able to operate the offense. But as I said, let's just start with a first down early on and try to get out from their own territory.
J.R. Howdle in the shotgun with a sidecar to his left. 3 receivers to the top of the screen. They roll Howdle to his left. He throws deep. He's got a man open, and the catch is made, but he is out of bounds.
Good effort, right? They drew up the right design, had the receiver open on the sideline. The quarterback delivered the football just a little bit too inaccurate, a little bit too close to the sideline. And that's going to fall incomplete, setting up a 2nd and 10 now, and this would be crucial for the Broncos just to show a little bit of life here, just to keep the Raiders' offense off the field as well. That Broncos defense has been on the field what's felt like the entirety of the first quarter here.
Howdle, shotgun from his own 17-yard line. Takes a snap, Pressure coming over the middle, and it's behind him on the shallow crossing route. Cole, if the Kamloops Broncos were to play the Barsby Bulldogs, how do you feel that game would go?
I don't know. No, I don't even want to disrespect the Kamloops program like that. But I just feel like this, it's tough, right? When you have new leadership in place with a guy like Jay Daniels who's coming in, and you have the term thrown around of, rebuilding. Unfortunately for this program, I feel like has been trying to rebuild now for years. So I think for them, that their kind of goal going forward is trying to find any sort of positivity to kind of cling on to moving forward for the future. Some things that you can kind of build this program. But, I mean, they're struggling, man, as you can see.
Nagoni back there to return. He will have a chance to return this one, but it goes behind him. Nagoni racing back there to pick it up. He does pick it up at his own 40. Nagoni down the left side. He's got something here, and he's pushed out of bounds across the midfield stripe. And a first down for the Raiders in Broncos territory. But, Cole, did you like the decision, or did you agree with the decision to fire the head coach of the Kamloops Broncos like they did this offseason? He was dealt a tough hand. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that.
A tough one, I think, because he's obviously had some years up there to run the program, and I think you kind of seen what the ceiling was with the program, right? You try to look for another direction. You kind of relate it a little bit to like the Bills, right? When you hit that wall and you kind of feel like, hey, are we able to get anywhere from here? You maybe look at a guy like Jay Daniels coming in and trying to spark this culture.
It's been about a 26-year rebuild for the Kamloops Broncos. The throw to the left is complete to Haygarth, and he's taken down after a short gain. So Haygarth with a few catches early in this game. Good to see him getting involved. Obviously with Blaze McCarty not playing today, as well as Cooper Mann, some backups into the game early for the Raiders.
Yep. Cowie Thompson as well on the field side. So good opportunity for these young players to get some reps here early on and to try to build some of that success for their careers, right? Haygarth, a young player in this league, Celso, same thing.
Snap. Marino looking in trouble, dumps it short. Celso's open. Celso's got it. He's got the first down, but he might get a lot more than that. Celso taken down inside the 30 at about the 28.
Nice tackle there by Lyndon Mitchell, the Kamloops Broncos. Touchdown saving one. I think if Selly was able to turn that corner, he had a lot of room up that far sideline and had some blocks down the field as well. So first down, Raiders, as it's going to probably likely be the last play of the first quarter here, Noah.
The Raiders offense clicking on all cylinders right now. Crossing routes, seams down the middle. They look like they are in full gallop right now against this Broncos defense, which we expected. It would have been more strange if the Raiders offense didn't look good today. Shotgun snap to Marino, looking to his right. Going deep. He's got Celso open. Celso's got it! Touchdown! Raiders! What a throw by Dylan Marino on the corner route, and Celso gets the separation needed. He makes the catch, and the Raiders have a 32-0 lead over the Kamloops Broncos.
Yep. I don't make any decisions. That's all on Coach Ryabski, but I've seen enough. It's 32-0 after the first quarter. Dylan throws a beautiful touchdown there to Jacob Celso. And the Raiders offense has basically done what we've asked for, right? Obviously disappointing early touchdown to be brought off the board. But other than that, this offense has been able to muster some scoring drives here on every opportunity they've had.
And the extra point attempt for Morris Hilling. See if he can put this one through to extend the Raiders' lead.
Maybe if, I don't know if Coach Ashman and Coach Cook are in the booth next to us, but maybe they might hear one or two suggestions from us today, and maybe they get the Brady Vindevogel or Antonio Hagler, whoever's going to be coming into the game here. But
be one of the quickest times you've ever seen the starters pulled at the end of the first quarter, Cole.
Yeah, 33-0 though. Like you said, obviously maybe you'd like to see Dylan get at least till the half. But for me, I know it's difficult, especially when you're coming off the bye week. It feels like you haven't played in a month when you're living in those shoes, but Dylan doesn't need to prove himself against the Kamloops Broncos in Week 5.
This quarter is presented by Mr. Lube Plus Tires here in Nanaimo. The score at the end of the first, the Raiders 33, the Broncos nothing, as the teams switch ends, and we get set for the kickoff.
Hopefully some good vibes for the Kamloops Broncos going the other way.
It's wishful thinking, Cole.
We're going to have to will them into a first down or a touchdown here, Noah.
Do they have a first down yet, Cole? I don't think they do.
They don't.
Yeah. Did you watch the game on Friday night between the Bombers and the Red Blacks?
I watched a little bit, but I watched mostly the finish. As the Red Blacks kind of made things a little bit interesting, if maybe you do want to say that. I don't know if I don't want to disrespect Jake Mayer, but 8-point game, it did get a little bit close, but it didn't ever feel like Ottawa was going to be able to kind of take control of that game. But, let's send it back to you, Noah. How are you? Do you feel like you don't have much hope, obviously, in your Winnipeg Blue Bombers?
I have no hope. That game should have been 40-0. In the old days when the Bombers were on their heater, that game would have been 40-0 in the third quarter. And just the fact that Ottawa stayed in it, not a good look for the Bombers. Here's the return by the Broncos, and they are out close to the 30-yard line. But
I think that's Owen Stockbroker, veteran running back receiver for the Broncos. Nice return out past the 30-yard line. So better field position for the Broncos. Hopefully, as I said, we're there able to pick up a first down or two here and get the ball rolling in the right direction.
As we get a look at the Kamloops Broncos, and we think of other inept football teams, my Bombers got a much-needed win last night against probably the most inept football organization in all of Canada, Cole, the Ottawa Red Blacks. Is it time to fold the franchise in Ottawa?
It might be. What is it? I thought it's 15 straight games they haven't had a win yet. So,
and a fumble, and it's on the ground. Raiders think they have it. Let's check if the referee agrees with them.
Looks like it's covered by Max Schiff, and the referee does agree.
And we'll see. Marino is still in the game. And may have a couple more drives here.
Man, if you're Kamloops, that's such a bummer. Best field position they have all day, and we get a fumble on the first play from offensively of the second quarter. And honestly, I don't hate that Dylan's still in the game. Like I said, I kind of was expecting to see him till at least halftime, but as a fellow backup quarterback myself, Noah, I'm always eager to get Brady Vindevogel and Antonio some reps there early on.
Marino, shotgun from the 31-yard line. He'll give it to the right to Morgan Crisp. Crisp to the outside. Crisp, stiff arm, and he's gang tackled there by the Broncos, close to the first down.
Morgan Crisp, a bruising run for about 9.
And little out-of-town scoreboard. No, we do have an update as the West Shore Rebels are up 26-6 over the Valley Huskers right now.
Marino takes a snap. He'll give it right back to Crisp up the middle. Crisp looks like he'll have the first down as the Raiders move the chains and continue to march this ball closer towards the goal line. The referee gives the signal. It is a first down, Raiders. Cole, what are the other games we got in the conference this week?
Okanagan is playing tonight at 7, I believe that game is kicking off up in...
Who are they playing?
The Okanagan, as it is, I believe their home opener, if I'm not mistaken. Or no, sorry, they played at home last weekend, but they're hosting the Prince George Kodiaks.
Well, we probably know how that one's going to go. Marino, shotgun, takes a snap. Play fake, he'll roll to the left. Marino's going to run. He's inside the 10-yard line and slides safely there. Good from Dylan to just see him get as many yards as he can and stay healthy next week against the Langley Rounds.
Yeah,
and Cole, that matchup's going to be an interesting one. Hey, it's a really good defense here for the Raiders against a quarterback that just looks like he's firing on all cylinders right now.
A quarterback that, if we're being honest, Noah, looks like he can't be stopped right now. He's second in the conference in rushing, leading the conference by 500-600 yards in passing.
Yeah.
10 touchdowns for the Broncos defense last week, so
he looks pretty incredible for the Langley Rams. Snap to Dylan. He'll give it up the middle to Morgan Crisp. He runs over to defender. Morgan Crisp pushes towards the goal line, and he's in. Touchdown, Raiders! And the Raiders extend their lead here. It's Morgan Crisp running over defenders, and it is 39-0 for the VI Raiders.
It's just fun to watch Chris run the football, the way he lowers his pad level and the physicality that he runs with. And this is an excellent problem for the VI Raiders, right, where Gavin's gained some confidence here today, has 2 touchdowns, has some nice runs. So if you're the VI Raiders offense, especially going into next week, right, you want to have both those guys. You're able to kind of lean on both backs, and when Chris needs a blow or Whittingham needs a blow, you're able to rely on the other guy that's going to be able to come in, and he's motivated, right? Like I said about if you don't have success, it's easier to bring out the other back and put him back in. So
Vindevogel puts it down, and the extra point is put through by Petrina. And as we mentioned, Petrina and Mars Hilling sharing the kicking duties today. Somewhat of a in-game competition.
Yeah, which is nice. It's Petrina's, I believe, first week in town or with the program, so still getting accustomed to being a VI Raider, but is that the end of the day for Dylan Marino?
Tough to say. I mean, obviously the Langley Rams left Overstreet in there.
3 quarters.
Three quarters. Here's my only thing. They've run it when they've got close to the goal line a lot. How many touchdowns Dylan have? Just one right now?
Yeah.
That's tough. I'd be a little disappointed if I was Dylan.
I agree. When we talked about that pregame, talked about kind of, wanting to maybe hit some of those milestones if you are Dylan. The one thing I think, if you, like, from my perspective, maybe sounds like I'm talking out of both sides of my what here, but he operated the offense, I think. He couldn't have operated any better, right?
100%.
So, as much as I think you would have liked to see maybe 3, 4, or 5 touchdowns, the offense did their thing, and we'll see what happens.
My gut feeling is Sean's going to leave him in there till the end of the first half, but we'll see. Here's the kickoff down there to the Broncos. He picks it up. He's going to run it down the right side, and he's tackled there. Nice downfield coverage by the Raiders. Chris Cooper in on that one again.
Chris Cooper making a bid for this week's special teams team, and I believe that's got to be at least 2 tackles he's been downfield, or at least has been involved in.
Sebastian Lambert, Cole, talk about how good he was last week.
Yeah, as I talked about, he didn't block the punt.
Recovered it.
He recovered it, had 4 special teams tackles himself. And I believe it was 3 weeks ago up in PG, he had a couple of special teams tackles as well, had the interception up in Prince George. So a guy that this Raiders program's high on. He's actually a kind of a multi-sport player. He's a rugby player coming to football. So a guy that's very comfortable on the defensive side of the football.
I went up to him at practice on Thursday, and I said, hey, nice to meet the real hero of the game. God, you had a good game. And obviously a little bit of a joke there with Blaze McCarty and Cooper Man making their heroic plays for the Raiders.
But for the defense, right? Like, it's nice to have some of these guys performing on special teams. They're hungry to perform on defense when they're able to get in. But talking about that special teams unit last week, and Lambert and I don't know if it was Josh Ayer that got credited with the block, but my goodness, they probably should have had about 4 or 5 punt blocks last week.
They should have. I continue to lead the Chris Soto for mayor campaign here in Nanaimo. Man, he's done a good job with that unit. Howell in the shotgun. From the 28, takes the snap. It's a halfback draw, and oh man, that's the newcomer, LaRon Parker. He read that one really well, snuffed out the draw.
Yeah, great job there by Parker, getting some penetration in the backfield, bringing Owen down in the backfield. Looked like Tanai came in late to lay the finishing touches on the Broncos running back. And
oh, what a hit by Tanai.
The Broncos are going to punt this football once again, but the Raiders up 40-0.
See if Marino stays in the game. That might be our most interesting thing to monitor at this point.
It does look like, it appears, as Brady Vindevogel still has the clipboard in his hand, that it will be Marino unless we have Antonio.
No, Antonio no helmet on right now, number 15 down there on the sideline.
Yeah, so I don't hate it. It's just for the ex-quarterback in me, and maybe as the backup quarterback, I always you have that like instinct to, as the quarterback runs, go grab my helmet. You never know what's going to happen right on any given play. So. Wow.
The kick is a great one over the head of Nagoni. He lets it bounce around there. A Broncos player falls down. Nagoni taken down. Good downfield coverage by the Broncos.
I don't think the Broncos downfield player there just got out of the way in terms of a no yards penalty, and the Raiders will take over. It's like just before the 45-yard line.
Dylan Marino still in the game.
It's still a lot of time in the second quarter. 10 minutes still to go. I mean,
it'd be crazy to pull them this early, but
it is.
It's just tough. 40-0. The Broncos have scored 7 points through 3 weeks of football. This is already an insurmountable deficit.
Yes, there's probably. I mean, CFL football. There's another 3 or 4 drive opportunities in this first half alone. That's what I mean about getting them out of there.
It's just tough, Cole.
It is.
You just feel bad.
The Raiders got to get their reps too, right? Like, that's the thing about if you're Coach Rabsky, kind of trying to balance when you're going to pull starters and stuff like that. Coming off the bye week, they're trying to get as crisp as they can a look going into that Rams game next week. So
you know what's interesting, Cole, is like, I'll make a little comparison here. Again, I don't know how much hope there is for the Broncos. They've been in a very long rebuild. The Raiders did have glory days at one point, but the Raiders went through their own 0-10 struggle 3 years ago.
Exactly.
Right?
Yep.
And they were able to rebuild it. So,
Yep.
you know, if you're trying to look on the bright side, if you're the Kamloops Broncos, maybe you point to the Raiders.
Prince George last year, right? Team that kind of has been growing over the last few years and growing and growing and growing. They make the playoffs for the first time in program history last year. So there's definitely hope for teams to rebuild it, and that's what I think they're hoping for with Jay Daniels at the helm.
They'll give it to Whittingham to the right. Whittingham cuts back, shifty move, and picks up a gain of about 5 or 6.
My goodness, what a block from Jake Giokis. I know the offensive linemen don't get too many shout-outs, but whew, he threw his man out of the club on that one.
Giokis, the fifth-year center for the Raiders, in his final year here in Nanaimo. He's started all 3 years he's been here for the Raiders. Really, really good player. His brother Jackson is actually on the coaching staff for the Raiders. So here is Dylan Marino shotgun, 5 receivers out in the pattern. Marino looks to his right. He's in trouble. Marino gets out of there, throws downfield for Celso. Celso's got it! Celso down the right side and caught from behind. There is a penalty down, and interestingly enough, Cole, this is the fear. It's a late hit on Marino, and maybe that's why, to your point, you get him out of there early.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how Dylan's proven, too. He's a tough SOB the last number of weeks, taking multiple hits, but he is kind of, I feel like, shaking a little bit of the cobwebs out. It kind of looked like to me a little bit of the Tua where you kind of try to hold your head up a little bit and you ricochet off the turf there. But he's going to stay in this one. As I said, football is such a crazy game, right? It's 100% injury rate. On any given play you could get hurt or take a big hit like that. So it's that tough balance, right? 40 zip. Do we want to risk
the season potentially being over?
For a Week 5 game versus the Kamloops Broncos.
So you can pad your stats.
Yeah.
No, it's tough. And that's the stuff Sean Rabsky is weighing, right? It's not an easy decision, right? You obviously want to get Dylan up there. This is a great opportunity to put him up there near the stat lead in the conference.
The other thing about Dylan, right? American still learning the Canadian game, right?
Reps,
so,
right?
Yes,
for sure.
You want to give him as many reps as you can, but just any injury for the VI Raiders today would just be so unnecessary.
And how realistic are these reps when you're going against a borderline high school defense, right? Is it really realistic to what you're going to face against the Langley Rams or the Okanagan Sun? Marino scrambling to his right, looks, fires from Oscrip, and it is incomplete or intercepted. No,
Great
incomplete.
play there by the defensive back there. Looked like the ball is falling incomplete.
That was number 85 who was able to break that one up, I believe.
Khalif. When I spoke with Coach Jay Daniels after spring camp, he was one of the bright young players that they were happy or excited about the future of him and with this program.
Oh, it's a good spot by
Yep.
Marino. He put it only where Mosgrave could catch it. But second down from outside the 15. Marino in the shotgun. 3 receivers to the top of the screen. Marino looking to his left. Nothing there. Comes all the way back to the right and throws an absolute piss missile to Jacob Celso. What a read by Marino. Cole, you started a new podcast of your own called Full Field Read. That was a full field read by Marino. Looking to his left. Nothing there. Didn't like the corner out. Comes all the way back to the right and just drills it in there to Jacob Celso. What a play by Marino.
Is that enough to get him out of the game? My goodness. As you said, a full field read going to his left. Crazy to see. I think he kind of suddenly looks off Parker Mosgrave. I thought he was open on the corner route and had leverage on the defensive back. He comes back, no harm, not going to the corner, and absolutely rips a dart across the middle to Jacob Celso, who's able to walk in for a touchdown. And now it's 46-0, pending the extra point. 8.5 minutes still to go in the second quarter.
Maybe that is what
Yeah.
head coach Sean Arabsky wanted to see. Man, Cole, again, I'm a guy who played a little quarterback back in the day. You are too. It's the little intricacies that get me the most excited. The whole shot last week to McCarty. Most fans would be like, oh, he's wide open. To me, it's just the vision to see the whole shot, rip it in there. That one, full field read. Looking to his left, you see there, comes all the way back to the right and just zings it in there to Jacob Celso.
And let's have the conversation, though, right? You talked about us being quarterbacks, watching that position a little bit more intently. I think Dylan would tell you this too, right? Like he hasn't lived up to his expectations, right? As high as we are on him, he's the ultimate competitor and he's as critical as anybody on himself, right? And I think he'd tell you that himself. He hasn't had, I think, the ideal start to the season. I think there's a lot more to see in terms of him reaching his ceiling. And throws just like that are what we're hoping for coming to this, right, where he's going to be able to blossom.
What a seed thrown in there by Dylan Marino to Jacob Celso. And who do we got kicking this one off, Cole? Is this Mars Hilling, or is this the newcomer Patrina 69?
I think it's Patrina.
I think it is Patrina. He's a little shorter than Mars Hilling.
Yeah, Mars Hilling's a little bit lankier.
So an interesting opportunity to see what kind of distance Patrina has on these kickoffs. Let's take a peek. Oh, that's a great-looking kick down to the 5-yard line, picked up there by the Broncos. They'll run it down the right side, and he's tackled there. And guess who, Cole?
Chris Cooper.
Chris Cooper.
My goodness.
Special teams demon right now.
Yeah, making his bid for Special Teams Player of the Week here.
Chris Cooper with his second special teams tackle today.
Cooper, John Barsby High School local graduate here in Nanaimo. And the Broncos will scrimmage from their own 25-yard line. Howdle still in the game at quarterback.
I would think Hoddle will get majority of the work today, right? Not having
Yeah.
Wriggler in the system anymore. And
They fake the reverse. They throw a screen to the right. It would have been intercepted if he did get it off, and he's lucky it was batted down.
poor Howdle.
Oh, it's tough to watch, Cole. I can't lie to you. It's just, look, we're a little bit of homers, right? We're here in Nanaimo. We love the Raiders, but no one likes just seeing this kind of football.
Well, they kind of design a screenplay there. He looks left. He comes back right before he can even look towards the receiver. Tonight, Wisdom's breathing down his face, and he can't even execute the play.
I think both as former quarterbacks, we think of ourselves, right? You put us in there, how tough this would be to kind of have to lead your team as a quarterback in this kind of operation and these circumstances. The tackle was made there by Sterling Henry, and the Raiders will get the ball back again as the Broncos send the punt team in. Cole, with the start of the NFL preseason underway, it's only right that I ask you, what are your expectations for your Buffalo Bills this year? Is this the year that Josh Allen finally does it?
Well, I hope so, buddy, and I'm glad that you're asking me about my expectations and not about your Dolphins, because we know those are a few years away. But I don't know. It's a tough one, right? Because obviously the Bills fan in me, I believe we have a chance every year with Josh Allen. I think he's that type of player, but I think the roster around him is always the question, right? Do they have enough, and can they get it done when it matters, especially against elite talent in the AFC playoffs?
Brandon Beane, Joe Brady, new head coach of the Bills. Oh my goodness, it goes right off of Keegan Barondrak, and Barondrak wisely picks up the ball and runs with it. So a funny play there for the Raiders, Cole.
Heady play by Keegan, as he's been in and out of the lineup to start this season with some of the injuries in the secondary, but avoided disaster as it looked like, oh my goodness, might bounce off him, and with some Broncos players running downfield, he was able to pick it up. And
that would have been the first down for the Broncos
yeah.
all game.
Hey, Keegan did a great job, though, just making something out of nothing, picking up the ball, making sure that he didn't fumble it. And Keegan's still a young player. I think that, Raiders fans should probably get used to maybe hearing his name come year 4, year 5 when he's in this program some more, and continue to develop with a guy like Coach Rabsky as well.
Coach Rabsky, a secondary background, playing defensive back at Carleton University for the Ravens and here for the VI Raiders. Here's the throw down the middle, another seam shot, and it's caught by Parker Moskrip, and he is inside the 20-yard line all the way around the 15. Beautiful throw again from Marino. Those seams are just killing the Kamloops Broncos.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to keep him in, you might as well abuse it, right? You might as well, as you said, right? Like, he's trying to get his reps too, so it's there all day, Noah. There's a ton of space down the seams on either side.
Beautiful in rhythm there from Dylan. 3-step, no hitch, ball out, beautiful. And the ball sits at around the 16-yard line. And the Raiders look, I don't want to say for the knockout blow, Cole, because I think we've already seen that, but this would be a big one here. Moskrip to the left, snap to Dylan, looking, going, deep, corner, and incomplete. Looking there for Nate Cowie-Thompson in the corner of the end zone.
And Dylan with his hand up after that one said, my bad. Probably left it a little far too inside. I think if he would have put that a little bit further, especially with a guy like Cowie-Thompson, who's a big-bodied receiver.
First Responders Appreciation Night tonight.
But balls like that too, if you are Cowie Thompson, you got to try to fight back into the defender and maybe draw some of those pass interferences as a big guy like that.
Looked to me, Cole, like it hit him right in the stomach. So I don't know. Looked like a catchable football to me. Obviously not the best ball from Dylan, but a catchable one nonetheless. Second down, Celso top of the screen. That's where Dylan looks. He throws complete. Celso to the goal line and taken down at the 1 yard line. How many receivers are we going to see taken down to the 1 yard line today, Cole?
Hey, great job there by Celso. Easily could have felt the footsteps coming from the Broncos safety, and first and foremost, if you're going to take those big hits, you might as well hold it on the football, right? So didn't even really take a big hit. I think he was able to brace for contact there and falls at the 1 yard line for poor young Jacob Celso. Could have had a few touchdowns here today with just a one highlight reel grab, but love what I've seen here from Jacob Celso playing in that boundary slot.
He's got to be close to 100 yards today already, Cole. Marino, shotgun. Will they run it? They fake it, they throw it to Mosgrip, and Mosgrip will cruise into the end zone for the touchdown. Emphasis on cruise there. And the Raiders have a 53-0 lead over the Kamloops Broncos.
I mean, do we get to 60 before they pull Dylan?
This is tough, Cole. I mean, the honest-to-God truth is if you left Marino in there for the whole game, you could probably get to 100.
Yep. Like you said, though, right? Like the Raiders were in this situation 4 years ago.
No one had any mercy for them.
Losing to West Shore by 90 points and stuff like that, right? So it's tough position, but everyone kind of does go through taking their lumps like this. But, I mean, at this point, too, it is kind of – I'm curious to see when Dylan gets the hook here.
Yeah.
Like I said, there's nothing more to prove. The watching film at up 54-0 throwing another touchdown isn't going to make Dylan feel any better.
The extra point is put through by Petrina.
We also talked about the reps, too, right? Like at a certain point, these reps aren't helping you versus a Rams defense, an Okanagan defense, Rebels defense, whoever you want to kind of...
It creates a false expectation of how open guys are going to be.
Exactly, right? I think this unit's kind of lived on the old saying that goes around of iron sharpens iron, and the ones versus ones competitive periods that go on at practice, right? When these guys are going against each other at team and stuff like that. So that's, I feel like, some quality reps where you're able to get a true test, but we'll see. I get it. 4 minutes and 50 seconds still to go. There's still time for, I would say, probably 2, maybe 3 possessions if you squeeze a one in there, but the Broncos haven't proven to keep possession of the football. That's the biggest key here, right? It's basically been 2 and out all this first half here.
And here's Morris Hilling in for the kickoff. We got to look at his distance going the same way as Petrino was the last time. Morris Hilling puts his hand up. We're all good to go. And Morris Hilling puts his foot into it. And it's a much shorter kick than Petrina. And it bounces around there. It's picked up by the Broncos. They run it down the right side. And Chris Cooper's in on that one again, as was Mosgrip. And they take him down there at around the 25-yard line.
There's some other bodies involved in the tackle there, but Chris Cooper definitely one of the first bodies in downfield there. He is flying down on special teams here today. Love to see it in a kid that'll, judging by the score of this game, likely gets a lot of the second half action on defense as well, probably playing linebacker.
Howdle in the gun from his own 25, takes a snap. He throws a screen out here to the left, and it one hops to the receiver. And we got a player down for the Broncos. Is that Brett Chappell?
Yeah, it looks like he's back under his feet, though. So, as we know, Brett Chappell, a warrior out there, one of those real grinders. If you're the Broncos defense, though, you got to be pleading for a first down, man. Like, it feels like they've maybe had a squirt of water, and then they're instantly back on the field.
Shotgun for the Broncos. Takes the snap, pump and go down the left side. Winters gets toasted, and for some reason he throws to the wrong receiver, but it's still caught. and the Broncos have a first down around the midfield stripe. Pump and go to the wideout. He's absolutely wide open. He toasted Dylan Winters, and they just throw to the wrong guy, but it gets caught anyway, so a little bit of good mojo there for the Broncos.
I don't think the Broncos staff or team is complaining at all. There we go.
That's the first down of the game. There we go.
Some positivity here. Under 4 minutes to go in this half.
He throws into triple coverage when the wideout was wide open. I love it.
Hey, they don't ask how, they just ask how many. Or in this case, how far, I guess.
All right, Broncos at the 49-yard line. Howdle calls for the ball, and he'll toss it to the right on the pitch, and he's tackled there by 3 Raiders. No gain on the play, and that'll bring up a 2nd and long, and we'll see if the Broncos can improve on that incredibly low 2nd down conversion percentage. Ayer in on the tackle. Second down and 10 for the Broncos. Howdle in the gun. 2 receivers bottom of the screen, 2 to the top. They have a guy in there for max protection. Snap to Howdle. The receiver's offside. Howdle pumps it. He'll run and gets clobbered there by a couple Raiders. Shipham in there, and Shipham's fired up, of course, as he always is for the Raiders. He is the energy on that defense.
Dowdle getting down just in time, or maybe making a little bit of a business decision to get down. I don't blame him.
The offside call will be on the Broncos. The receiver at the bottom of the screen, Sean Radsky, says, please decline that penalty and give me 3rd down and 6 or 7. As he should.
Raiders offensive staff still gathering on the near sideline here. And it appears to me, it looks like Marino still chatting with Coach Braybrook with the rest of the starting receivers. Doesn't look like Vindevogel's getting ready to go in here to finish the half. So I would imagine Dylan's going to get his 2 quarters, probably as promised going into this one, which I don't hate it, like we've said, but
it just sucks that so many receivers have been tackled at the 1-yard line.
Yeah.
He should have 3 more touchdowns.
Yeah, for sure.
Got a couple minutes of game time left here. Got those footballs for your kids. The whole thing, the Wall Street Trucks halftime football toss.
Well,
Cole, I hear you're starting your new podcast, Full Field Read. Talk about it a little bit.
yeah, thank you for the plug. It was that was perfectly transitioned in there, Noel, by you. Best in the business, as we already know. But yeah, looking forward to it with another guy that I think you and I are both respect his football mind, and he is a Seahawks fan, so that is a little bit of a downer. But again, like I said, I respect his football mind. It's Bryce Coots who does a little bit of coaching in BC, and like I said, really excited for this project this year. It should be fun.
He's also on your Lions podcast as well.
Yeah, he is. So that's kind of where it came from, is him, Brian, and myself talk Lions every week, and he's a big NFL guy himself, so it worked out.
We love Brian. Here's the return by Jackson Ashman down the left side. Ashman's got something here. He could crib this one, but he's taken down at the 45. A nice return, and Sebastian Lambert is getting into it with a Broncos player.
Looked like he had a fantastic block. I don't see a flag down. Oh, there is one actually around midfield. Raiders offense is backing up, so maybe Lambert was the guilty party on there. I just seen it late as he went to ground with the Broncos player. And Marino is coming back out on the field with the starting unit. Looks like actually Ty Teal is actually going to be.
They talked about wanting to get him some reps in here, Cole, before next week against Langley.
Which I think is huge, right? Ty Teal coming back off of injury. Went down in week number 1 to start the season. Starting left tackle for the team. As for any team, I mean, the starting left tackle is pretty high up there in terms of priority and having him on the field.
Krenbrink's done a nice job.
Yes, he has.
The last couple
fantastic.
Weeks.
Yeah. And I think that's huge for a guy like Krenbrink, that long season still another 6-7 weeks to go into October there. Hopefully for the Raiders, they want to play some October football as well.
As we always say with the offensive line, Cole, if you don't notice him out there, you're probably doing a great job. You know who I have noticed quite a bit this year? Stanley Bryan out there at left tackle for the Bombers. I notice him every single week, Cole.
Good thing you got Jarrell Broxton out of position at right tackle, though, eh?
Yeah, bet you guys. Wish you guys had that one back.
Don't tell me twice.
Probably one of the few building blocks for the Bombers is everyone gets ready to go into the retirement home.
Yeah, especially with Stanley kind of being up there. I would think maybe this is his last year, maybe 2. So if you're Jarrell, hopefully you're sliding over that left tackle spot sooner rather than later.
They'll give it to the left to Morgan Crisp. Crisp gets past the first wave, and here he goes. Crisp cuts back to the middle and gets a first down. Nice run there by Morgan Crisp, a big one, about 30 yards.
And I think this is the beauty part when both running backs are hot like this, and you're able to just feed the hot hand. Whittingham's coming in, producing. Crisp is coming in now and producing as always. You also motivate one another, right? You get your opportunity, you don't want to come back out. And they're going to need it, right? I think that's going to be somewhat of the game plan next week is trying to play a little bit of that game, keep the ball out of Overstreet in the Rams' offense's hands. I know they're confident in their defense being out there, but I think the more you limit Overstreet being on the field, the more you kind of limit him off the scoreboard.
First down to the 28, a little misdirection here. Marino throws back to the right, and they're going to rule this one a fumble. A good job by McCubbin to fall on it. That could have been disaster for the Raiders there.
Yeah, see, and this is going to be, depending on what happens here, but kind of a strange way to end things if this is how the half ends, you know.
Cole, how do you feel the Sean Arabsky defense matches up against Darryl Overstreet next week? It's going to be an interesting one.
I like it because, as we know, we've kind of coined the term of death taxes and Sean Arabsky setting the house, right? So I think he has a lot of confidence in his back end matching up with those receivers in the Rams. What is, can you get after Overstreet? Can you fluster him? Can you get him off his spot? The thing about Overstreet is you get him off his spot and you might run it for 50 yards, right? So he's an incredible athlete, and it's going to be a tough task for them next week.
Marino straight back to the left to Celso, and a little too far on that shallow crossing route. And the Raiders will punt here. So that is I believe, the only drive of the game that has not resulted in points for the VI Raiders.
Yeah, it doesn't take anything away from the afternoon that they've had, because I think they've been clicking on all cylinders, and a lot of this is just kind of nitpicking. But if this is the last we see of Dylan Marino with minute 27 to go in this ball game, kind of just feels a little bit like, man, you would have liked to see them end on a touchdown drive or just a little bit better than that. You have the miscommunication or kind of breakdown in the play on first down, and then second down he misses Celso on the shallow cross there.
Vindevogel in a punt it, and he might be the first guy to touch this ball in the second half for the Raiders. Vindevogel gets away a high, short kick. It bounces at around the 45, and good downfield coverage by the Raiders again, and a late penalty flag. And we'll see what this one's going to do.
Looked like he was already out of bounds, and the Raiders, it looks like Sebastian Lambert just a little too excited to compete with Chris Cooper maybe for special teams tackle leader. But he was already out of bounds by a few yards, and he just dragged him down.
So the Broncos should get at least 10, maybe 15 yards here on the penalty. And we'll see if the Broncos can get that 0 on the scoreboard out of there and put some points on the board here before the half. I know if you're Sean Arabsky, look, you love winning the game. You don't really care about the shutout, but
they do.
Human beings do have egos, right? We all have an ego. So you don't want to give up any points here if you're the Raiders.
Yeah. Sean now into his third year as head coach of the Raiders. He's kind of turned into a professional. He's media trained. He knows I'm not going to answer that, but deep down inside, he'd care.
He does your interviews every week after the game, Cole, and we were a little scared to ask him for an interview last week after what we thought would have been one of the biggest collapses in Raider history. I remember you saying to me, I don't know if I can interview Sean after the game. It's a good thing the Raiders won that one in the end. Much different feel. Here's the pass, and it's intercepted by Jackson Ashman. Ashman down the right side, cutting back. Ashman needs a block. Gets past the first wave, and here he goes. Ashman with Shipham leading the way. Ashman's got a convoy. Ashman looking for the pylon. Can he get there? Taken out of bounds at the 2-yard line. What a return by Jackson Ashman. And again, Cole, another big one that gets taken down inside the 5-yard line.
Great job there by Jackson Ashman. The Regina product. 88-yard return down to the 2-yard line. And a great job there by Jackson. Going to give the offense an opportunity here to really put the exclamation point on the first half. But if you're Jackson, that's going to be another one in film. McCubbin, Celso, who's going to get ripped more that they couldn't house that one, as you said.
There's going to be a lot of guys getting ripped.
Convoy ahead of him.
How many blockers did he have down there?
Looks like Joe, Josh, Shipham all leading the way, and he's tracked down. Hell of an effort there by the Broncos. I don't know if it was a receiver that tracked him down.
You see there Morgan McCubbin, good leadership, getting guys out of the huddle that shouldn't be in there, avoiding the too many men call. Raider Cole, look at this. First time all year we've seen them line up under center.
Holy smokes, they have ran it.
They have an under center package, and they will give it to the fullback Parker Moskrip, and he plows in for the touchdown, and the Raiders have...
Was that so hard? I feel like how many times now this year we've been in those short yard situations and kind of wonder why the Raiders have been in the gun.
And they are up 60-0 on the Kamloops Broncos, and that should be it for Dylan Marino, you would think, in the second half.
That's perfect. That's all you ask for, as I said. Anything that we're kind of talking about is just nitpicking on the day. I think Dylan Marino operated beautifully here today.
So we do have an under center package here for the Raiders. I can confirm. And they just go fullback dive with Moskrip, and the big fella leans in for the touchdown.
And I know they struggled with that last year, right? A few times versus West Shore. They kind of put Moskrip in the short yardage quarterback role. So I don't hate seeing him as that fullback as well.
Morris Hilling puts the extra point through, and the Raiders have a 61-0 lead over the Kamloops Broncos with 53 seconds to go in the first half. And Cole, I think I speak for both of us when I say we were more excited for the second half today than the first half. We want to see what these backups can do.
Yes, 100%, especially Haglett, Vindevogel at quarterback, right?
There is a little bit of a competition there.
Yep.
You know, Vindevogel and Haglett, I find them very even. I really like Haglett's arm, but Brady throws a great deep ball as well.
I don't know if I want to say this quite yet because this is the first time we're seeing Petrina, but kind of similar to the punting battle, right, where both guys are showing themselves. They kind of are two different skill sets as well, right? So it'll be curious to see if Vindevogel does get the rest of the mop-up duty, or do they get Antonio in there in the fourth quarter? Kind of similar to PG, right, where we saw a few weeks ago.
They're going to get Haglett in the game. He messaged me before the game and said, hey, Noah, they wrote my name down wrong on the roster sheet. Make sure you change that. That's usually from a guy who's going, I'm getting into this football game at some point. Announcer, be ready to say my name correctly. And here is Petrina in to kick it off. I said, don't worry, Antonio. You're speaking to the best in the league. You got nothing to worry about. I know how to say your first name. And the kick is returned from the 10-yard line and taken down right there.
Trimmer?
Justin Trimmer maybe down there on coverage.
Number 32, depth running back.
Justin Trimmer, tackle there.
The forgotten phase of Canadian football, right? Is special teams is such a big part of the game. Field position included. The Broncos have been in their own to the end of the field all day long here.
So maybe, Cole, if the Raiders are able to get a couple quick stops here or an incomplete pass that stops the clock, they could get the ball back one more time before the end of the first half. It'll be interesting to see what happens here. Do the Broncos, they only got one receiver on the field. It looks like the Broncos are just going to, wisely, as they should, just run the ball and end the first half here. They will give it to the fullback. He falls down immediately. Not quite sure what that was.
I think he tripped on the quarterback's feet, unfortunately, Noah, for the Broncos. I think they just want to get things into halftime here and get back to the whiteboard and see what they can kind of try to.
Good eye, Coley. That's why you're the best in the business. He did trip on the quarterback's feet. So some pee-wee football mistakes going on out here for the Broncos.
It's a tough one. I think you can see as well, like Dowdle, not too sure how long he's been with the program, but he's kind of late into the operation in terms of getting the play into the huddle, and it's a tough one, right, for the young quarterback. Getting the play late, who knows how long he's been. He's known the system, so probably doesn't come quickly to him. You're trying to think more than you're kind of trying to react off instincts. Looks like Stockbroker's coming in with the play.
And Stockbroker was a guy that you said
veteran for the Broncos. He's played with the team now for a few years. Kind of that kick returner. He'll play a little bit of slot for them. Running back as well.
And whenever his career is done, maybe he can be a stockbroker. All right, that's my only dad joke of the night. The referee blows it in. Should be one of the final plays of the first half. Snap. They're going to throw a screen to the left. It's complete. And, the Broncos might have one here.
There we go.
I think he's got the first down. He does.
Yeah.
We have 40 seconds to play in the first half.
Tackled by number 53, Logan Flaring.
I said pregame that I thought the Raiders defense might join in on the scoring there, and Ashman almost had a chance to do it, but that's maybe one thing if you're the Raiders, if you are Coach Rabsky and you're trying to maybe motivate the boys next week, like, hey, we got to get on the turnover board a little bit more.
No doubt. Shotgun snap, looking to the left, nothing open, throws to the right, and it's complete.
No, incomplete.
Oh no, it is dropped.
Looks like Shipham came in and jarred the ball loose.
Second down and 10 coming up for the Broncos with 19 seconds to go in the first half. How aggressive do you want to be here if you're head coach Jay Daniels? Our friend here in the booth is saying, take a shot. What do you have to lose? Throw it deep and let's see if you can do it.
Hey, I mean, they're 1 for 1 going deep, right?
He's looking, throwing to the right, and he drops it again. Oh my goodness. This is tough to watch, Cole.
And the Kamloops Broncos punting unit onto the field as they've been very busy here today.
Not surprisingly.
I guess I'm curious, we're talking about the offensive depth, but how much change do we see on defense in the second half as well, Noah?
It's a good question. Yeah, for sure. The kick backs up Jackson Ashman. He runs to his left to get it. The ball goes by him. Ashman picks it up. He's on the run, and he's taken down there. There is a penalty flag down, and the clock shows zeros, and that may be the final play of the first half.
I don't know if it's going to be able to end on penalty, Noah.
Oh, good call there, Cole.
I mean, it is a 60-point game. Maybe they do just go into the half, but I don't think the half can end on penalty. I think it's going to be on the Raiders, if I'm not mistaken. Looked like it was maybe a little too much on the block there.
I need a cheeseburger, Cole. It's time for a little halftime food.
A little hot dog.
Hot dog, something like that. You know which food trucks we got here today?
I don't. I didn't get to take a peek. I was worrying pregame about our technical difficulties up here in the booth for the.
It's true. We barely got on.
Yeah. Yep.
And the referee waves the flag, and that is the final play of the first half. And Cole, I would ask you keys for the second half, but I just want to get to that food truck. So we are going to send this to break. You are watching the BCFC on TELUS.
Yeah, let's play hard to the Raiders fans. Make sure you support our vendors at halftime. Support our first responders over there. And also support the Burn Fund. Guys put their lives on the line to keep us safe in this world. JLA Food.
Okay, team, let's have a great show.
Rank is reflected in positions and names.
For 50 years, Mr. Lou Plus Tires has proudly helped Canadians experience Canada. Whether that's making memories, making your way to the game,
I meant right. Wait, where are we?
or making the most of your weekend. Mr. Lou Plus Tires, celebrating 50 years. Proudly Canadian.
Come out to the VI Raiders home games this season and take your shot in the world-famous Velocity Truck Centers football toss with awesome prizes up for grabs. Velocity Truck Centers in Nanaimo and the VI Raiders are proud community partners because strong teams are built on shared values, teamwork, dependability, and a commitment to excellence. Drop by the Velocity Nanaimo dealership for new and used trucks, plus service and parts for all heavy-duty makes. And when you stop in, tell them the VI Raiders sent you.
Okay, team, let's have a great show.
Rank is reflected in the positions and names.
For 50 years, Mr. Lou Plus Tires has proudly helped Canadians experience Canada. Whether that's making memories, making your way to the game,
I meant right. Wait, where are we?
or making the most of your weekend. Mr. Lou Plus Tires, celebrating 50 years. Proudly Canadian.
Come out to the VI Raiders home games this season and take your shot in the world-famous Velocity Truck Centers football toss with awesome prizes up for grabs. Velocity Truck Centers in Nanaimo and the VI Raiders are proud community partners because strong teams are built on shared values, teamwork, dependability, and a commitment to excellence. Drop by the Velocity Nanaimo dealership for new and used trucks, plus service and parts for all heavy-duty makes. And when you stop in, tell them the VI Raiders sent you.
start the second half here.
Yeah, I think that was everything we asked for the Raiders, right? I know some penalties that maybe were a little bit frustrating for Coach Rabsky, but 61 points in the first half and 2 quarters, I think it's hard to complain, especially when the defense didn't put up any of those points, right? So all executed from the offense. We talked about it pregame. You want to look crisp. You want to get Dillon out of the game as quickly as possible. I think they were able to do that, and the defense obviously kept them off the scoreboard, no? So.
And you're already seeing some substitutions from the Raiders, Cole. Aiden Bytel with sunglasses on the sideline. It looks like his day is done. What do you expect from the quarterback situation? Dylan Marino, no helmet on right now. Maybe we'll get the backups in there.
Easy sign, Noah. No flak jacket on. He's got the flak jacket unzipped.
Good
headset
stuff.
on. I would imagine Dylan Marino's day is done. That means it's Brady Vindevogel who will get the look. Obviously has time spent with Chris Ashman with the Regina Thunder program. So a guy that I think the Raiders are, they brought him in for a reason to be the backup quarterback. If anything happens to Dylan, they have confidence that he can run the offense, and I think he's going to get the opportunity here to close things out here this afternoon.
And maybe not close things out because Antonio Haglet, the third-string quarterback, we've been at practice a lot, Cole. We like them both.
Yep.
I think Antonio throws a really nice ball, but I think Brady has really good accuracy on the deep ball. It's going to be an interesting competition there between the backup and the third string. I think there is a little bit more competition there than the Raiders would have let on. It's not just Brady's job to lose. There is an actual competition going on there.
Yeah, 100%. As the Broncos have it teed up, and the Raiders offense will start on the field.
Antonio Haglet was, well, actually, I'll save this for when he gets into the game.
But as you mentioned, other starters, Colton Finstad, LaRon Parker, Tanai Wisdom, I'd imagine their days are done as well. This is a great opportunity for some of those depth players to really prove and give confidence to Coach Rabsky that they can play some more minutes, right? Especially meaningful minutes.
All right, we are all good to go here in the second half. We'll see if the Broncos can hold the Raiders under 100 points. That is probably the biggest question mark in this game at this point. And here is the return by Jackson Ashman, and Jackson Ashman might put 6 on the board early. Gets past the first wave, and here he goes! Ashman taken out of bounds at the 33-yard line. A heck of a return by Jackson Ashman.
Looked like there probably should have been a horse collar tacked onto that as well, but this referee missed the Kamloops Broncos player dragging Ashman down by the back of his jersey. Nonetheless, the Raiders with a fantastic return, and looked like, I don't know who it was, Whittingham that just missed the block, or maybe was trying to get out in front of Ashman to lead him to the end zone, and Ashman just unable to take the boosters on.
So here comes Brady Vindevogel, and he is a quarterback that played for the Regina Thunder. He took a year off of football. He came to the Raiders this year in the offseason. He'll give it on first down to Christian Nagoni. Nagoni bounces outside. Nagoni trying to make a man miss, but he is tackled there and caught from behind by number 21 for the Broncos. That is Lyndon Mitchell who made the tackle.
Yeah, Chris Nagoni, another depth option for the Raiders that we've been excited to get some more game action here. He probably should have had closer to like 100 yards up in PG a few weeks ago, and unfortunately for him, had some plays taken off the board due to penalty. I know the Raiders were excited to see him get some game time action here. I would imagine this probably means Crisp and Whittingham's days are over as well. So we'll see what Christian Nagoni has.
A lot of substitutions in the receiving core. I see a receiver wearing number 49 at the bottom of the screen. Here's Vindevogel back to throw. He throws to the left, and it's nowhere near anybody, and it's out of bounds.
Was targeting Trey P.
Cole, they are bringing, holy smokes, they're going to bring Petrina out for a field goal here, I think.
We'll see if Vindevogel stays, or they might be punting Noah. No, he's got this kick. He's got his kick tee out there, so
this might be the most exciting play of the game.
Yeah, my goodness. We talked
this
about
would be 42 yards if he makes it.
As Maris Hilling's going to watch on.
Vindevogel to put it down. The Raiders are late getting substitutions onto the field. We do actually have the play clock working today, Cole, as it says 12 seconds to go there. The Raiders run on Nate Cowie-Thompson late onto the field, so not a very smooth operation here. There's 6 seconds on the play clock. Petrina will kick it. Vindevogel will put it down, and from 42 yards away, Petrina's got the ball up, and it is short, and it bounces into the end zone, and the Broncos are going to take this one out for some reason that I don't really understand, and he gets to the 5-yard line. Oh, you know what, Cole?
Yeah, remember we talked about this.
Rules, absolutely.
Out to the 20. The thing I will say I like there from Petrina, sorry. Nice smooth stroke. Didn't look like he hooked it left, trying to put too much into it. Just came up probably a few yards short, so.
I think he had the accuracy, not the distance.
Yes. Makes this competition even more spicy moving forward, right? That no guy's really taken hold of this job. And
if he made that one, Cole,
yeah.
not only would that have blown the roof off this
yeah.
place, I think he would have probably secured the job.
I think the other thing that we've seen here, at least today, Noah, is he's probably had the stronger leg on kickoffs as well.
What in the world is going on with this formation for the Kamloops Broncos? They snap it to the running back, and he takes it ahead for a gain of about 5.
Oh, this is
an interesting formation there. Wildcat package from the Broncos, Cole.
Yeah, this is not good. We got Howdle out here at receiver.
And we got the running back in the shotgun again. And a little bit of a interesting formation here. They're going to run off the left side. And
they're close to a first down. My goodness.
Oh, my goodness. The Broncos.
Forget I said anything. Coach Daniels, he's obviously...
But a new wrinkle this week.
Yeah, you mentioned John Barsby earlier. We got the double wing versus the Canadian... Wildcat here. My goodness, what are we watching?
We got the double wing. The running back lined up in the shotgun. He takes the snap. He plunges ahead. And no gain on that one. Or maybe a gain of a couple, says the referee on the sideline.
I mean, yeah, this is...
New Raider Laurent Parker all over that one.
I mean, it is a tough half. I get it. I understand. But, man, this is tough.
And we've got the Curb Your Enthusiasm music playing here in the background. Shout out to the best DJ in the league here in Nanaimo. That's a pretty good song for what we're watching right now. And he takes it to the right, and he gets no gain.
LeRon Parker's still on the field there in the middle of that Raiders defense. But, man, it's a tough spot if you're Coach J. Daniels, but...
Maybe this is not what you like.
Yeah, I mean, you're essentially waving the white flag. I know they picked up a first down, and a lot of the Raiders' second strings are going to be in on defense, so maybe you feel like you have an opportunity to run the ball a little bit better. But, man, you're essentially waving the white flag offensively with 2 downs, and you're running the football with...
In the Wildcat formation, with the quarterback down at the bottom of the screen and playing receiver. The Raiders run a player onto the field late. That is number 81, Owen Fisher, who's late getting out there. The snap and a tremendous kick. I got to say, Cole, I think the guy who's had the best day today for the Broncos is their punter. He's done a great job with not only directional punting, but the distance he has on his kicks. And the Raiders carried ahead for a short gain, and that is where Brady Vindevogel and the offense will go to work.
And some like knuckleballs onto his punts as well. They've been tricky to field if you're Ashman and the other returners for the Raiders. But here we go, second drive for Brady Vindevogel into the game now, and this is where the Raiders. You really want to see Brady, like as I mentioned earlier, knows Coach Ashman and spent some time with him in the offseason, so you want to see him comfortable in this system.
Yeah, you'd like to see Vindevogel come out here and put some points on the board early. Vindevogel calling out the Mike ID. 3 receivers to the bottom of the screen. Vindevogel will give it to the right to Christian Nagoni. There's a flag on the play. Nagoni, making a man miss, heads for the sideline. Nagoni's got another big run here. And, oh my God, goodness. Cole, if this is coming back, this would be the 3rd nice run Nagoni's had this year that's called back by penalty.
I think it's initially on the Broncos, the offside, but my goodness, the referees missed a bad holding on this near side receiver, number 49.
Oh my goodness. That's one of the most obvious calls you'll ever see.
I'm not too sure how.
He's not listed on our roster sheet here, Cole. I looked for number 49. 48 is Torrin Farrow.
It's not
and
Torrin.
50 is Jake Giocas. There is no 49 listed on our roster sheet, so God forbid the mystery man catches another touchdown here in Nanaimo, Cole. We have another mystery man.
Agent 49.
Agent 49.
Of course, last year that was Josh Caverly, who's now with the Langley Rams, and
don't forget about Noah Lank as well.
Yes, right.
Yeah.
Right, that actually, no, correction. Yeah. That was who Agent 87 was.
Correct.
Was Noah Lank.
Yes, Noah Lank. Man, we got a lot of funny feedback about the mystery man.
Agent 87.
Agent 87.
Yeah.
87. Oh, man. Cole, I hate to say it, I want the mystery man to score so bad right now.
He's lucky he didn't call for that. That holding was brutal, but the Raiders will not care as they get actually rewarded with a fresh set of downs here.
Agent 49 lined up at the bottom of the screen. Haygarth motions down the line. They hand it off to Christian Nagoni. Nagoni makes a man miss. Nagoni with a nice run and a gain of about 5. It'll set the Raiders up with second and manageable.
And Nagoni loving his jump cuts there. Made a couple defenders miss in the hole.
Christian Nagoni, a really hard-working player for the Raiders. At 30 years old now, I try and get exercise in whenever I can, so I will often head down NDSS Field, Barsby Field, throw the ball, just try and stay in shape. Christian Nagoni, every time I invite him, he has not missed one throwing sesh. As I told you folks, I played a little quarterback back in the day. I like to get my drops in 5-step, 3-step. It's the only kind of cardio I get these days. We're going to throw to the right, and it is dropped by number 19, Luke Magnian, right through his hands.
Seeing the drop-off, right, from the starters to the second strings.
Definitely seeing the drop.
Raiders offense hasn't looked crisp here through 2 drives.
Good ball there by Brady Vindevogel, right on the money, but through the hands of Magnian, who's one of the smaller players on the team. And Vindevogel was heading towards the sideline, but I guess he forgot. You're also the punter.
Double duty. Oh,
well,
nope.
We got here, and
too many men in the huddle, I'm guessing.
We got too many men.
Oh.
And for some reason, they're allowed to snap it, and now they blow it dead. Petrina's going to give us a go and see if he can fulfill the punting duties for the Raiders. $7:56 to go in the third quarter. The penalty is on the Raiders, so it'll back them up another 5. Too many men, obviously, with Vindevogel a little confused there whether he was handling the punting duties or not. And number 85, Khalifa El-Shine, stands back at the 20-yard line and awaits the punt from Petrina. Petrina gets the snap, takes his time with it. They're in there on it, and Petrina gets a short kick away that bounces around there. I think I probably like the distance from Vindevogel more, but great downfield coverage by Cowie Thompson. He makes the tackle, but interesting there, Cole. Kickers, punters in Canada, a lot of times you want them to do both duties. Looks like the Raiders are still going to need their backup quarterback to fulfill the punting duties.
Yeah. Definitely an interesting one to monitor, especially come playoff time, right, where jerseys on game day are valuable, right? Playoff roster size gets dimmed down a little bit, so.
Took forever for him to get that punt off, too.
Yeah.
It took a long time to get it away.
I would almost guarantee you that come playoff time, both William Maris-Hailing and Petrino won't be dressed, and depending on how things go, right, you have faith in a guy like Vindevogel to handle your punts. Sterling Henry also is a capable weapon, so we'll see what happens. One of those guys are going to have to win the job to get a jersey on game day, especially in the playoffs.
The more you can do. Here's the Wildcat formation, and it's a sweep to the right, and it's a gain of 15 and a first down for the Kamloops Broncos.
Waving the white flag. The Kamloops
Not
Broncos,
so fast!
Yeah, the Kamloops Broncos offense here. To be fair, as we are obviously the Raiders broadcast, I don't think you've ever seen something like this if you're Sean Arabsky in that defense when you're watching film or trying to prepare for this Broncos offense. They have 4 guys in the backfield.
Levi Koenig is the man who's running this Wildcat formation with the quarterback at the top of the screen. Koenig takes it off the left side, and he's gang tackled there by the Raiders after a gain of about 1. So second down and 9. And the Broncos, you know what, Cole? I'll say this. They've moved the ball a little bit with this formation. They got a first down out of it. They got 2 first downs out of it, which may be as many first downs as they had in the first half with the shotgun standard CFL passing offense. So, again, this formation, which I'm sure Sean Arabsky was not prepared for, they're going to throw out of it.
Oh, my God.
And it's incomplete.
Oh, man.
Oh, my goodness. They threw out of this formation. The running back going down the middle, and it's incomplete. the Broncos look like they will punt this ball.
Didn't see the injured Raider player who's down.
There were 3 Raiders there, and none of them were able to make the catch. We do have a player down for the Raiders. It looks like the ball might have hit him in the solar plexus and winded him. I'm not quite sure what that injury is going to be. We'll wait to check on that. It's number 40, which is Kyle Kirkin.
So he's okay.
Maybe a little turf burn there. I'm not quite sure. Non-contact injury, obviously. And back deep to return this punt is Jackson Ashman.
I think Jackson's impressed here, returning kicks, right?
Absolutely. He's looked good. He's looked very good in the punt return.
I think he's won himself a job here, or at least until proven otherwise.
Absolutely.
I'd like to see him continue to return kicks.
Ashman stands back at around his 35-yard line. The punt is a short one that bounces around and goes out of bounds at the 35-yard line. And that is where the Raiders offense will go to work. And it's time, Brady Vindevogel. Let's see something here. Not all the fault of Brady, though. He had a pass go right through Magnion's hands for a drop. Got some Akon going on here, Cole. I don't know.
If you know, you know.
We grew up the same time. What are you, 97?
Yeah, I am, buddy.
I'm 95. I love Akon. He's one of my favorite artists of all time.
The thing here for Jackson is, I think he's provided the Raiders with great field position every time he's touched the ball, which is awesome.
He definitely has. First down at the 37-yard line. Vindevogel in the shotgun. Vindevogel calls for the ball. Play fake. Vindevogel to his right. Complete to Cowie Thompson. Cowie Thompson on the run. Cowie Thompson puts the shoulder down and plows ahead through a defender and picks up a first down for the Raiders. And a late penalty flag, and we'll wait to see who that's on.
Judging by the reaction from the Kamloops Broncos, I think this is going to go on the Raiders. I did see the Broncos player go down late. I don't know if we get on the replay here. I've been wanting to see Cowie Thompson with the ball in his hands a little bit more. He's an impressive athlete. He's a big-bodied receiver, and the few times we've been able to see him at practice, he's impressed as well.
He has. The referees sort this one out, and it looks like it's actually going to be moved up ahead. It's on the Broncos.
Wow.
And the ball will go all the way up. We'll see where they spot this. Holy smokes. It looks like it might be a 15-yard penalty. Now he's walking it backwards.
I don't think.
And it looks like there's no penalty on the play. I'm not sure what's going on here. Arabsky is having a conversation with the officials. And it is on the Raiders now. They'll back it up. So very interesting display there from the referee.
Can't use it's week 1 for everybody, no.
Well, it's not week 1 anymore. We're in the mid.
We can't.
We're halfway through the season, almost, and they're going to back it up. It'll be a repeat first down for the Raiders. Vindevogel obviously can't be happy about that one. First positive play for this Raiders offense in the second half is nullified. Vindevogel shotgun, and he'll give it up the middle, and that's going nowhere.
Jack McLeod, the ball carrier there in for the Raiders. I know, very excited to get Jackson PT here today as they just have a loaded running back room, and Jack's one of the more well-liked guys on the team, a real glue guy in the locker room.
Yeah, he does a lot of coaching for Sean Arabsky's Caged Athletics. A real leader in the community is Jack McLeod, a good kid, a fun guy to be around.
Not from the community either, right? Saskatchewan boy. Yeah. He's came in and he's really done some good stuff for the community, as you mentioned there, Noah.
Second down and 17 second down and 7 for the Raiders. And Vindevogel in the gun. He takes the snap. Got tons of time. Over the middle. Cowie Thompson's got it. Cowie Thompson in the secondary. Cowie Thompson could go! Nate Cowie Thompson! Touchdown! Raiders! Brady Vindevogel right on the money on the deep crossing route to Nate Cowie Thompson. He does the rest. He takes it all the way. The Raiders have a 67-0 lead over the Kamloops Broncos.
Yeah, just talked about it with Callie Thompson and how much of an impressive athlete he is. He catches that ball, turns up the sideline, and nobody's able to catch him as he just pulls away from the Broncos secondary. Beautiful ball there by Brady. Similar to Marino earlier, went almost to the full field read there. Came back to Callie Thompson and delivered a beautiful ball. Thompson did the rest.
It's easy to do full field reads, Cole, when you have zero pass rush whatsoever.
Yeah, good job by the Hoggies up front.
Yeah, great protection from that offensive line. They've been good all day today. Vin de Vogel will put the extra point down. He calls for the ball and gets it. And the kick is good. And the Raiders extend their lead here. Nice to see Brady Vin de Vogel and the backups, Callie Thompson, getting in on the action.
As always, the Raiders touchdowns are brought to you by Mid-Island Co-op.
Today's game is proudly supported by United Floors, the total flooring solution for residential and commercial flooring needs. Trust the local experts at United Floors. And Mr. Lube Plus Tires Nanaimo on Comox Road across from Maffeo Sutton Park. Mr. Lube, ready when you are. As well as Velocity Truck Centers Nanaimo, who you can trust for all your commercial vehicle needs. We thank you all for your contributions to this storied franchise and storied football program here on Vancouver Island. It's been a fun one today. Lots of laughs for us, Cole. Unfortunately, a lot of them at the expense of the Kamloops Broncos.
I was corrected. Brady Vin de Vogel did have a passing touchdown against Prince George 2 weeks ago. We'll make it 2.
We got a little mix of Little John here, as well as the Zombie Nation song that's one of my favorites of all time. And here's the kickoff. And it's picked up there by the Broncos at the 10-yard line. He'll take it ahead down the right side. The Raiders chase him down, and they bring him to the ground at the 24-yard line. Cole, are you a fan of Little John?
I am.
Remember back in the day, my high school days, I loved Little John.
Yeah.
Yeah! Yeah! Let's go! Everybody hit the floor.
All right.
Okay, I'm going to stop. I'm going to quit while I'm ahead.
Here comes the CFL's version of the double wing here, Noah. If you're Coach Arabsky, though, and Coach Hill as well, former Barsby products, they should be prepared on how to stop this. Actually, no, correction. Dowdle in the gun now.
Oh, now we go back to the shotgun. Okay, so the experiment is over. They're going to fake the jet sweep, and they throw a deep one. It's intercepted by the Raiders. It is picked off by number 16, Gladen Johnson, down the left side, and taken down there by the Broncos. Johnson with the interception. And maybe for the Broncos, that's why they like that wing T formation.
Yeah, nice job there by Gladen to make a play. Second string corner. He's able to take advantage of his opportunities here today, getting in the game, as he is a multi-sport athlete, too. I believe he took the year off last year coming out of Terry Fox, a basketball player, and I believe good friends with Selly, AB, some of those guys on the team, so joining the cause.
Nice job camping underneath the arm punt, and one of the more easier interceptions he's going to have in the CJFL. Here's Vin de Vogel, fakes the give, throws to his left. Callie Thompson's got it. Callie Thompson straight ahead and taken down after a gain of about 8.
Nice sure tackle there by the Broncos defensive back, as it looked like almost a similar play to the last one there, the Thompson touchdown. I think if he would have turned up that sideline, he might have cribbed it as well.
68-0 the score in this one. The Raiders lead the Kamloops Broncos. There is 2 minutes and 48 seconds to go in the third quarter as the Raiders look to get in the end zone one more time here. Vin de Vogel, no huddle. Shotgun, takes the snap, gives it off the right side to Christian Nagoni. Nagoni runs around the right side. Nagoni runs over a defender and gets another first down for the Raiders. They move the chains, and this Raiders offense continues to march the football in this game.
Raiders first down.
I'm praying for a 49 touchdown here, Noah.
Oh, Cole, I would love to see it. Vindevogel in the shotgun from his own 20. Takes the snap. Gives it to Nagoni again. Nagoni looking for space. Gets some space. Nagoni needs a block. Nagoni running over a defender. Nagoni taken out of bounds at around the 5-yard line. Heck of a run by Christian Nagoni.
It's kind of crazy to think that Nagoni's technically this team's 4th-string running back, right? If you think about it, obviously with Crisp and Whittingham kind of be the 1A, 1B.
And Cooper Mann is really the third.
I was going to say Cooper Mann is technically the third guy into that conversation. He's obviously been the selfless player this year, kind of switching to that slot back position, not playing here today.
Wearing number 22, reminiscent of the great Christian McCaffrey, catching the ball out of the backfield.
Exactly, and he comes with, he's done it in the CJFL before, right, in the OFC, so he's technically the 3rd-string guy, and you have a guy like Nagoni, you have a guy like Jack, who's kind of that 5th-string guy as well, and that running back room is loaded.
Here's Nagoni looking for the end zone. Can he get there? No, taken down at around the 2-yard line.
And I know this Raiders team is probably hungry to try to get him into the box. We talked about it earlier in the broadcast. He probably had easily 30 yards taken away from penalties up in Prince George a few weeks ago, was unable to get into the end zone up there as well, as he got a bulk of the second half work up in Prince George. So if he can get into the end zone here, this would be his first career touchdown as well.
Nagoni deserves it. I hope they give it right back to Nagoni here, but if not, you know what I'm hoping for, Cole. Fade out to the field side to the mystery man, number 49. Shotgun. Vindevogel gives it to Nagoni. Nagoni looking for the end zone. Can he get there? No! Taken down to the 1-yard line. Nagoni still looking for that first CJFL touchdown. 3rd and goal from the 1. And what are the Raiders going to do here?
If anybody's having some pops at home, you might have to drink every time the Raiders get tackled at the 1 here.
No, Cole, they're going to send the field goal unit onto the field? What is this? From the 1?
Yeah, I don't love it, Coach Rabsky. I know he's going to be rewatching this in the morning too. So.
Oh man, that's a little bit of a bummer.
Petrina, I guess, needs to get some work. Awkward angle from that close, though.
Very weird angle. Oh man, I'm very, very surprised here by the call.
Should we defensive-minded head coach?
Petrina?
He
puts it through. Cole was ready to jump on it, but Petrina puts it through.
My goodness, the tight angle, though, it just makes it weird for a right-handed kicker, and it was close, man.
Look at Brady Vindevogel, the best hair in the Canadian Junior Football League. Man, I wish he would take off that helmet and show the flow to you fans at home. The Raiders put it through. They have a 70-plus point lead over the Kamloops Broncos. There it is. Take a look at the hair, folks. It's coming off. Oh, my goodness. The best flow in the Canadian Junior Football League. That blonde, long, luscious locks of Brady Vindevogel. Look at it, folks. There it is.
California sunshine.
California sunshine is right, Cole. Look at the best flow in the Canadian Junior Football League. Brady Vindevogel. It's hard to believe he's from Regina, Saskatchewan with that hair, Cole. You think he was an island boy through and through.
I agree. We have made it into the fourth quarter, so 4 is up, Noah.
71-0 is the score here.
Much better half from the Kamloops Broncos, obviously, with all the Raiders' second strings getting into the game, but
we'll see if we get Antonio Haglett into the game here, the third-string quarterback for the Raiders in the fourth quarter here. The Broncos, because of the field goal, can elect to take the ball at the 35-yard line. That's what they've elected to do.
Is this a new quarterback now?
This may be a new quarterback. Let's see. What number do we got here, Cole? I can't make it out.
8? Is it Colton Kardish?
Colton Kardish in at quarterback, and he'll give the jet sweep to the left. And it's coming down this near sideline. They got something here down the right side. Escorted out of bounds by number 31, Judah Wolgamuth. But not before he gets the first down. A nice run there by the Kamloops Broncos.
Broncos' best play of the day there. Ball carrier just turned that corner and had some speed. Touchdown saving tackle there.
Nice tackle by Judah Wolgamuth, the safety for the Raiders.
You've been practicing Jude's last name, haven't you?
I certainly have. I take this job pretty seriously.
You're pro.
Cole.
I know you are.
Shotgun, the toss to the left, and the Raiders are in on it, and they clobber him. What a tackle. Was that Chris Cooper, Cole?
It was Chris Cooper, yeah. Not only is he flying around on special teams, getting some PT on defense, and he was all over that play. He was in the backfield before the Broncos even knew what was happening.
Wow, what a tackle by Cooper there. He brings him down for a loss of about 5. Second down and long for the Broncos coming up. They put Colt Cardish in the shotgun. They roll him to the right. Cardish gets it away, and it is it. Oh my goodness.
Keegan!
The easiest interception that Keegan has ever had in his entire life, and it goes right through his hands.
Keegan. Oh.
Keegan Barondrecht is going to have nightmares about that one, Cole.
He had his name ready to go. We're going to say it right, too, and
we get the Curb Your Enthusiasm music again from the best DJ in the league here in Nanaimo. Last chance for the 50-50, folks. Get it in while you can. Standing back at his own 5-yard line is the Raiders returner. It's
Dylan Winters, I believe.
I think Dylan Winters lined up a little deep there. He was expecting a punt coming from Justin Medlock there. The return to the 15-yard line. And here comes the Raiders offense. We'll see who's in at quarterback.
The thing about those punts, I think especially as a young guy, you never want to be like backpedaling. You know what I'm saying? You always want to try to be coming forward.
Here comes Antonio Haglett. I've been excited to see him all day. Haglett gives the thumbs up, and he is all good to go for the Raiders. Antonio Haglett, the man who grew up in British Columbia here. He went to the University of Toronto, and after playing for Toronto, he came to the Raiders this offseason. The mystery man, number 49, has no idea what he's doing. He runs in there and doesn't know the play. He gets the play from number 41. We have 2 receivers wearing in the 40s, Cole. And that usually says that we are late in this football game and we got to delay a game on the Raiders.
Honestly, I'll take 40s over the 70s.
Yep. Referee comes forward. It is a delay of game. Time count violation. This quarter is presented by Mr. Lube Plus Tires. Mr. Lube Plus Tires on Comox Road across from Maffeo Sutton Park. Mr. Lube, ready when you are. Here's Antonio Haglett. An inauspicious start to his home debut. First down, he'll give it to the left. It's to Jack McLeod. He runs around the left side. McLeod puts the head down and gets a nice gain there for the Raiders. He's close to the first down. Second down and 2 coming up for this Raiders offense. Second down and 2. We'll see how aggressive the Raiders offense wants to be. Do they want to throw it? Do they want to keep it on the ground? McLeod is in the backfield. They motion everybody in there. Looks like a run is coming. It is. They give it to McLeod. McLeod is close to the first down. He's got it. First down Raiders. They move the chains.
2 nice runs there from Jack.
Definitely. Got them out of that 2nd and 15 with a nice run on first down, and he moves the chains, putting his head down and plowing forward for the first down on second down there. And I'm very interested to see Antonio Haglett throw this ball here, Cole. I want to see them open it up. Jack McLeod is in the backfield. They'll give it to McLeod. McLeod with room, and he's got a gain of about 9. Good run there by Jack McLeod on first down.
Nice job by the offensive line, opening up some holes for Jack, too.
Very nice job. The offensive line for the Raiders, Cole. Talk about the importance of offensive line coach Trevor Bowles and what he's brought to the program.
Yeah, it's tremendous. You can't speak enough about it. I know we touched on it a little bit last week in the broadcast of just not only his influence on the offensive line, but on the whole team as a whole.
2nd down and 1. Could be shot territory for the Raiders. They fake it. They throw it to the right. It's complete. It's number 42 down the sideline. And that is Rhett Pryor who makes the catch and gets a first down.
Poor Rhett dealt the bad hand. Eh? He's rocking 42.
With AI these days, Cole, when you put it on your highlight reel, I'm sure you can edit it out, put in an 80 there or a single-digit number. 9:40 to go in the fourth quarter. Haglett in the shotgun, quads to the right. They give it to the right to Jack McLeod, and McLeod is tackled after a short gain of about 2. So 2nd and 8 coming up for the Raiders.
Nice tackle there by the Broncos. Looked like a linebacker, but unable to catch a number there.
And we'll see if they drop Haglett back to throw and let him try and pick up this first down. 2nd down and 8. Jack McLeod in the backfield. We got a lot of receivers wearing 40-digit numbers. Snap to Haglett. He looks. He's got time. He steps up. Haglett's going to run. And Haglett, he's showing off that athleticism. He's got the first down, but he's got a lot more than that. And he slides down wisely. I told you, Cole, not only does the guy throw a beautiful ball, he's got some wheels on him as well.
Yeah. I'm going to dub Noah, president of the Antonio Haglett fan club there.
I am the leader of the Haglett fan club.
That's okay. I love it. I'm glad that they are letting him pass here a little bit, with obviously it late into the fourth quarter and the time not stopping, right? So he's going to kind of have limited opportunities. But for Antonio, you're trying to stack some drives here.
8 minutes and 20 seconds to go in the first half. Haglett in the gun. He'll give it to the left to Jack McLeod, and he's tackled there for a loss of 1. Good tackle made by the Broncos, and a 2nd down and 11 coming up for this Raiders offense. Haglett waits for the call and gets it from offensive coordinator Chris Ashman in his first year doing the play calling duties for the Raiders. And we get a late substitution. Number 42 is coming out of the game. That's Rhett Pryor. And Rhett Pryor looks frustrated there. I'm not sure what's going on. Number 19, Luke Magnian, the guy who dropped the pass early in the game, comes back into the game.
Rhett Pryor, second-year receiver now with the Raiders.
Yep. And the play clock is blown in by the referee. Raiders got to hurry here. They're late getting the play in. Second down and 11 for Antonio Haglett. Out of BC by way of the University of Toronto. Quads to the top of the screen. Haglett in the gun. Gets the snap. Haglett deep drop. Nothing open. Haglett running to the left. He can run for this first down. He's going to do just that. Haglett down the sideline and out of bounds. Look at the wheels on Haglett, Cole. I am the president of the Antonio Haglett fan club.
Yeah, I believe he's a New West High-Ac, playing his high school football in BC here, as you mentioned, Noah, going to the University of Toronto. And he has impressed. I think I wouldn't give him credit that impressed as an athlete here, getting out of the pocket and picking up as many yards, even pulling away from the outside linebacker, defensive end. He was chasing him there too.
It's interesting, Cole. He played in the wing T offense in high school, which is obviously not a very quarterback-friendly offense, but now he's learning a completely new game. He started at the University of Toronto last year. Here he is for the Raiders. Haglett straight back to throw, in trouble. Steps up, he's going to run again. And Haglett gets some positive yardage there, a gain of about 3. And it'll bring up a 2nd down and 7 for the Raiders. Man, he's got some wheels on him, Cole.
He does.
71-0, the Raiders lead with 6 minutes and change to go here in the fourth quarter. I'd love to see Antonio Haglett throw a touchdown here. We'll see if they give him that opportunity. Haglett, shotgun, calls for the ball, takes the snap, looking to his left. He's in trouble. Haglett steps up. Nice job. Throws to the right, and it is dropped. Oh, goodness.
Trey P.
Trey P, with some of the most sure hands on the football team, was unable to hold on to that one.
Yeah, it's a tough one for me, as really hoping Trey P was able to make a few plays here today. He's been quiet. I believe that's the first time he's actually been targeted.
I'm going to sound like a homer, but again, a nice play by Antonio Hagler there, climbing the pocket, stepping up, and then he saw Trey P open, threw him the ball, but Trayson Paris unable to hold on to that one, and that will bring out Morris Hilling to attempt to increase this Raiders lead to 74-0. They're late running a player onto the field. The play clock's at 10. Morris Hilling lines it up from 26 yards away, and Morris Hilling has the ball up, and he's got the ball through the goalpost, and the Raiders have a 74-0 lead.
We got a kicking competition here, eh, folks?
We definitely do.
Don't think Petrina has been in town for longer than a week. This is his first game in a Raiders uniform, and Morris Hilling's obviously been here all season, so maybe that gives him the upper hand. But as we talked about earlier, I think we've seen some more power from Petrina opposed to Morris Hilling, especially with the kickoffs, right? Getting a little bit deeper.
Cole, talk about some of the kickers you had when you played for the Raiders. Who were the kickers in your day?
Yeah, well, we had Colton Hunchak, who famously won Special Teams Player of the Game in the 2017 Cullen Cup. I believe he was over 200 punt yards. Fantastic punter. And then we also had James Parker, who was an all-star kicker, went on to play, I believe, in the AUS. I want to say St. Mary's or somewhere in the AUS, as they said. But those two guys were phenomenal at what they did, and all-star caliber players.
The pass on first down is overthrown. Looking downfield for Hudson Jones, the receiver for the Broncos there. And it'll bring up a second down and long as we tick under 5 minutes to go in the game. And it looks, Cole, like we got a running clock in this game. That's never a good sign.
Probably trying to get Kamloops back on the ferry tonight and maybe on their way back up to, as we know, it's a long drive, man.
As you look there at the Raiders' upcoming schedule, the highly anticipated game against the Langley Rams here at the Q Stadium next week, Cole, that is going to be a good one.
That's a massive one. DCFC fans anywhere should be tuning in for that one.
Run it to the right, and nowhere to go for the Broncos. Taken down, and it'll be a third down in a punting situation for the Broncos, and here comes the punt unit. Raiders lead at 74-0 with 4 minutes to go in the game. Man, I'm really excited for that matchup next week, Cole.
Yeah, it should be a good one. I know you and I have been super excited to see Daryl Overstreet throw in person. Of course, I texted you right away when I saw him throw at eCamp, and I put out the video on Fanatics, and people were, he's throwing in shorts and a T-shirt. I don't know if I'd go as far to say that the Rams have their quarterback. I knew that the second I seen that kid throw that,
it was different.
There's nobody in the BCFC there's nobody in the CGFL that's throwing like him.
There's no one in Canada. Well, I guess I should say it. You see it on quarterback.
Yeah, I was going to say U Sports too. There's probably a few guys that are throwing as good as him, but it's extremely rare at either level, and I think it shows how much experience he has playing not only in the Division II level, playing in the Arena Football League before he came up here to Langley. So I would imagine Coach Rabsky, maybe he'll celebrate a little bit tonight, and that'll probably be it. I would imagine he'll turn his attention immediately to the Langley Rams tomorrow, or maybe after he enjoys this little bit of his Sunday off, and that's how the team will treat it, man, because that's a massive matchup, especially with Marcos Christos leading the Okanagan Sun last week. It appears that we still are uncertain if Liam Kroger will be back in the lineup to lead the team. This conference is wide open right now.
Definitely is. Hagler in the shotgun takes a snap, throws to his right, complete, making a man miss, and taking it ahead for a first down is Owen Fisher, number 81 for the Raiders. And he will move the change. We got some Ella Langley in the background, Cole. I know your girlfriend likes...
I'm choosing Texas every time, buddy.
I am choosing Texas every dang time with Ella Langley. You can call me an Ella fellow if you want to. I love me some Ella Langley.
I 100% agree, especially...
What a woman.
I work in construction, so this is a banger on sites, let me tell you.
There is nothing I can do when Ella Langley comes on. Shotgun. They'll give it to the left.
Trimmer.
Justin Trimmer down the left side. Trimmer. He's got the first down for the Raiders.
Man, I love the blocking downfield there by the Raiders receiving core. Owen Fisher, one of the few Raiders receivers that were downfield blocking their guy. tremendously downfield, giving Justin Trimmer some room to work.
It doesn't take a crystal ball to see. A Cowboy always finds a way to leave. Ella Langley, man. Oh, man. I'm a big Ella fella, Cole. I'm sorry. I gotta cut it out.
I think, no, if we can, we'll get back to business, I suppose, with the last few minutes that we do have. Parker, in the middle of this Raiders defense, how much impact can he have next week? I think more specifically that maybe not in the stats and the gaudy numbers, but can he free up a guy like Tanai Wisdom and Logan Queering in the middle of that defense to get some one-on-ones and to be able to create some pressure on Overstreet?
No doubt about it. The Raiders' defensive line is going to have to make an impact next week if they're going to have any shot against Darrell Overstreet Jr. He looks like a man on a mission right now for the Langley Rams. Shotgun Haglett. We'll see if he can put some points on the board here before the end of the game. Haglett will give it to the left. Is that Trimmer? Trimmer again with another nice run. Picks up about 6.
And obviously Tanai Wisdom, there's no questioning all-star caliber player, one of the best players I think in the country, but I think he'd probably tell you he hasn't had maybe the start to the season that he'd wanted, especially coming off double-digit sacks last year. He talked about wanting to be up there amongst the record holders and to be in double-digit sacks, right? So he's going to have to kick it into gear, and no better time than Langley Rams next week at home.
Antonio Haglett in the shotgun, the mystery man down to the bottom of the screen. Haglett takes the snap. He's going to throw to his left. It's complete. No, not Cowie Thompson. That's number 86. That is Jamie Proctor who makes the catch. I thought it was 85. It's 86. I apologize, folks. Proctor picks up the first down.
All the depth options getting some work here as we tick under 2 minutes. Can Antonio lead himself a scoring drive here to end the ball game?
That's the question. Vin DeVogel was able to. Haglett's had some nice runs, but he's got to put some points on the board here at the end of the game if he wants to be in contention for that backup job. Haglett in the shotgun. He'll give it to the right to Trimmer. Trimmer pulls forward and gets a gain of about 2.
I think the Raiders are just trying to get out of here healthy, I would imagine, too, with the last minute and 30 seconds to go. I think they've ticked all the boxes if you're the Raiders, right? 74 points, you're feeling good about yourselves. If you're Sean Arabsky, you have a ton to kind of point to in film tomorrow. And, hey, this wasn't a perfect game by any means, and we're going to have to be a lot better next week versus the Langley Rams that can bring it on both sides of the football. There's not going to be any Canadian Wildcat next week, and I can guarantee that.
That is for darn sure. 2nd down and 8 as we got a player.
And Dylan, too, like we said, right? Dylan did his job. 12 of 17, 260 yards, 3 touchdowns.
Should have had more.
We did talk about it, right? It would have been nice to see him throw 4 or 5. But to me, he executed the offense. Didn't have any turnover-worthy plays at all, right?
Yeah. Haglett takes a snap. Haglett looking. Going deep. Got a man open in the end zone. And it goes right through his hands. What a ball by Antonio Haglett. He put that one right on the money, and it goes right through the receiver's hands.
Yeah, that was an absolute cannon by Antonio.
That's a bazooka.
Yeah, he launched that thing. A little foreshadowing. You've seen the field goal replay there. They're going to be able to kick another one.
Look at this ball by Haglett here, Cole. Oh, my goodness. Just unloads it. And over the shoulder, outside shoulder, and unable to be brought in by Proctor there.
Let's be honest, too, for a second, Noah, right? I mean, the 2 highly touted quarterbacks, both American. You'd be mistaken if you didn't compare them, and especially with the Raiders case, right? They're very high on Dylan to kind of come in and win this ball game, this matchup next week.
The kick by Petrina is good from 36 yards away. Correct me if I'm wrong, Cole. I think that is the longest kick all year for the Raiders.
Yeah. We talked about it. Petrina showing off his power once again and combining that with some of his accuracy. It was a little left, but again, they don't ask how, they just ask how many.
77-0. The Raiders lead the Kamloops Broncos. They've gotten the score to where they'd like it to be. We have 1 minute and 12 seconds to go in the game here. The Broncos are going to take the ball at the 35.
Tough one for Kamloops, man. This is going to be a long drive back home. You talked about it, 7 points still. They haven't been able to get on the board here today. New quarterback into the game.
and he drops straight back to throw. He sets up the screen. It's bobbled there by the running back, and then he gets obliterated.
Gabriel Gilmore, quarterback kicker, on our depth chart. So
the more you can do.
Yeah, the more you can do, and the tough thing for the Broncos is they continue to look for a guy behind center. That's, as we know, it's the hardest position in sports, but the most critical in football, right? If you don't have a guy behind center, you can't operate on offense.
They had a guy fresh out of high school who was very highly touted in Cole Rigler, and for whatever reason, he is no longer with the football team anymore. Snap there, and they'll give it up the middle, and the Raiders are in on it, and they bring him down for no gain. And we'll see if the Broncos want to punt this football. It looks like they're going to. And Dylan Winters, hopefully he doesn't stand 80 yards away from the punt again.
Like I said, I think if from a catching punts standpoint, you always want to come forward opposed to backing up. But I hear you. It's like
Pat McAfee's not punting this ball, right?
Take a moment to recognize the Broncos.
These are CJFL punters.
even if you do, God forbid, have to back up, like
it's not going to be too far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're a true Raiders fan, remember this.
Oh, they fake it! And the Broncos are going to get a first down here. Might have liked to have seen the fake a little earlier than 77-0 with 15 seconds to go in the game, but nonetheless, the Broncos go deep into the bag of tricks and pick up the first down.
Hopefully the Broncos just take a couple shots to the end zone and we can put this game on ice. No, it's been, last year I feel like we had to wait so long to get in the booth. We've already been up here 3 times and going to be up here a 4th, I believe, right? Next week. And
next week, another home game.
The Raiders are on the road for a few weeks, and we're only going to get one more after next week, Noah.
Yep, it's been a fun season. As you know, Cole, I don't think we're ever going to see anything better than that. Hale McCarty. The pass to the left is 5 yards over the head of the intended receiver.
And obviously everything's still in front of everybody this season, but reminder, folks, that the BCFC is hosting the national championship this year. So, I mean, if for whatever reason the Raiders are somehow able to find a way to win the Cullen Cup and host that one, Noah, could you imagine calling a national championship game?
It would be unbelievable. As we know, Cole, a quarterback change in Okanagan, right? They are going with Marcus Christos going forward here.
Yeah, they went with him last week. I don't know if Coach Miller's made it official out of Okanagan the rest of the way, but I believe I've heard that Christos is getting the nod again tonight.
So do you know if that's due to just the injury to Kruger, or do they just like what Christos brings to the table with his legs?
I think a combination of both. Again, I think Coach Miller likes to keep a lot of the things tight to the vest, but getting a few things out of Okanagan, it does appear that I think there's been some curiosity with Christos, right? He can not only can he run the offense, but he's so valuable in that short yardage game. I think he provides a different element than a guy like Kroger. And for being honest, too, like thinking back to the Canadian Bowl last year, I think if the offense operated a bit better, their defense played very well enough to win that football game. So they're looking for somebody that can operate their offense.
Pretty cutthroat in Okanagan. A guy like Kruger has given you so much throughout the last 2 years. It doesn't matter. They are going to play the guy who gives them the best chance to win. The tackle is made there by number 93, Alex Taylor, and that will be the end of the football game. The VI Raiders win it 77-0 over the Kamloops Broncos. There is no time remaining. And all we've got left to do here today, Cole, a little bit of laughter and our game balls.
Yeah, I'll go offensively. I'm going to give it to my guy. The boys call him Selly. Number 2, Jacob Celso is going to get my game ball. I think you could definitely give it to a guy like Dylan Marino. As I said, operated the offense beautifully today. But Selly, I think, stepped in that role, playing the boundary slot. 2 touchdowns caught on the day. Defensively, Noah, who do we go with? Maybe a guy like Ashman. Not only did he contribute on defense, but he contributed special teams wise as well.
Yeah, Ashman had a great game. And Jacob Celso with probably the most productive day of his VI Raiders career. A tremendous game here from Jacob Celso. Any final thoughts, Cole, this week going into Langley?
I talk about on the Lions Den podcast every week about, stop me if you've heard this one before, but this sets up an absolute massive one next week, Noah. From Q Stadium, we'll be obviously calling that one. Langley Rams, VI Raiders, and a huge measuring stick test for the Raiders next week.
Playoff implications will be on the line next week against Langley. You are not going to want to miss that one, with two of the best teams in the conference going head-to-head right here at the Q Stadium. We thank you for joining us wherever you might be across this beautiful country of Canada. I'm Noah Atnikov, joined as always by Cole McGarvey, and we are signing off. Good night, everybody.